along with me. Breaking news, it's a thrill. Live chat, got time to kill. XP, we're breaking the mold. Special guest, stories untold. Unfiltered truth, no hidden clues. No suit and tie, it's all for you. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is scary. On Next News Network, we never vary. On YouTube, we're streaming live. On Rumble, the chat is alive. On X, we're trending high. And mainstream media's dead, and we are why. Millions of followers, hear us out. Seen all over the world, there's no doubt. We are the future, shining bright. Join the raw feed every night. Out of the newsroom, into the light. No suit and tie, it's feeling right. Unscripted moments, the host is scary. On Next News Network, we never vary.
Welcome, Patriots, to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, coming to you live from just outside Chicago. And folks, we've got explosive news that's shaking the very foundations of power in America. This is week 19 of Donald Trump's historic return to the White House, and what a week it has been. Now, before we dive into today's bombshells, remember, if you want to support the show privately, hit those donation links in the description. Every dollar helps us fight the information war. And for those ready to show off their favorite news source, check out our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Wear your patriotism with pride. Now, what sets the Raw Feed apart from every other show out there? Well, we don't just talk at you, we talk with you. Your reactions in the live chat, your thoughts on these breaking stories, that's what makes this show special. We're streaming live to millions worldwide on YouTube and simultaneously on Rumble and X. If you haven't followed us on those platforms yet, what are you waiting for? The censorship hammer could drop any moment. And speaking of making your voice heard, send in those super chats and Rumble rants right now. We'll be reading them between segments and featuring them on screen for the world to see. Your message could be the one that goes viral and changes minds across America. So don't wait, send them in now before we even begin the show. Now, here's something crucial. Share the stream via text message to your friends and family. It's the best way to bypass big tech's algorithms. And for our ex-viewers, repost this show to your followers. Every share is a victory against censorship. And you know, on this day in history, June 5th, 1968, Robert F. Kennedy was assassinated just after winning the California Democratic primary. It was a moment when political violence shocked the nation and changed the course of history. Well, today, 57 years later, we're witnessing another form of political assassination, character assassination on social media, with tech billionaires and presidents locked in a battle that could determine America's future. Just as that tragic night in 1968 exposed the dark underbelly of American politics, today's digital warfare between Trump and Musk reveals the raw power struggles that shape our republic. And speaking of power struggles, wait until you hear what Elon Musk just did. He dropped an absolute bomb on X about Trump and the Epstein files. This is not just a disagreement anymore. This is a total war between two titans. We've got the receipts, we've got the timestamps, and the shocking escalation that has the entire political world reeling. But that is only the beginning. We're exposing the Autopen scandal that President Trump calls the biggest scandal in 100 years, yet it is unraveling. Who was really running the country while Biden was in cognitive decline? The subpoenas are flying, and we have got the names. Oh, and plus, ICE agents are literally under attack not just politically, but physically. Democrats want to dox every agent while violent mobs assault them in the streets. The footage from Minneapolis will make your blood boil. And if that wasn't enough, we're uncovering how NATO and Lindsey Graham are trying to drag America into World War III while Trump fights for peace. The Ukraine money trail leads to shocking places, and we're following every dollar. But there's also incredible news on Trump's one big, beautiful bill. It's the conservative victory we've been waiting decades for. Full border wall funding, massive tax cuts, and work requirements for welfare. This is what making America great again really looks like. For our YouTube members, you're getting special acknowledgement in the chat, exclusive access to the Next News team, behind-the-scenes uploads, and our members-only Discord chat. Each membership level comes with its own unique perks, so join today and become part of our inner circle. This is your show. This is your voice. This is your movement. So let's expose the truth together. So here we go, Patriots. The Raw feed starts now. And let's welcome you to the show. Dictum Factum is here. We got Karen Finley, Cindy Rose. We've got Z in the house. We've got Health and Beauty here as well. We've got Lynn and Wyatt Earp as well. Who else is here? Let's scroll up the feed. We've got Shirley, Sabrina, and Ruby Parajules. We have got Jeffrey Long. Gen X is here. Morals 22. Mrs. Pothead Kenny is here. Ophicus 111. Sabrina is here. We've got Hot Rod Dave, Jeremy Olson, Christina Marshall. We've got Jeffrey Long, who says, Elon's having a bad trip. Yeah, Steve Taylor says Trump and Musk will kiss and make up. Let's hope so. All right? Let's just hope he's having just a bad day. Hello, Brett. Karen Finley's here. We've got Shirley Dickey, who says credibility lost. I began not to fully trust Elon lately, says Zenaida. Nancy Pelosi's liver. America didn't vote for Elon. We voted overwhelmingly for Trump. Good point. We've got our Boyd. It says even in Todd's brother Brett. Yes, Todd's brother Brett is here. We got Jay Pohl. We got Overeducated SP. Learned about the fifth plane last night. Yeah, TMZ. What about that, huh? A little late to the party, in my opinion, but better late than never. We got Bookworm Girl. The Dems and Biden most assuredly would have shown if there was anything to this, but we already knew this. He was on the list, did not do anything wrong, or it already would have come to light. Exactly. We're gonna tear this whole thing apart in a minute. Juan Ruiz, hello, my beautiful queen Sabrina. Juan has got the Rico Suave already kicking. We got Kathy Dyer, Joe Carroll Dodds, Todd Siegel 01. I'm Todd's brother, Brett, from Todd's phone. Y'all are effing awesome, he says. Let's see. We got Cassandra La in Lake Havasu. Anna has only one passport. The fifth plane. It's Elon and the Donald actually feuding, or are they just trolling everybody? Maybe they're trolling. Maybe this is just one big troll. Karen Finley, yes, I am feeling a little bit better. I appreciate you asking about my health. Thank you so much. Laura Simpson's in the house, and it looks like we do have a super chat that just came through. Need to address that. Craig in Nebraska, reporting for duty. Right on. Got $5 in the jar, all ready to go. Boom. Drop that in. And let's see, Juan Ruiz just gifted 10 memberships. Thank you for that. Juan just opening up his heart and his wallet. And again, we have Tom B420 dropping $5. Look at that. And wait a second, Juan Ruiz, what do I see here? Looks like we got to pull out a $100 bill for Juan. Thank you. $100. All right. Look at that. Big spender tonight. Was not expecting that, but we will certainly accept your generosity here at the Next News Network. Thank you so much for that. What did he have to say? Sabrina keeps me on check, Gary. Wow, he spent $100 just to tell you that, Sabrina. I think he really likes you. We know why Juan is here. He is here to pick up all the Patriot checks in the chat room. Well, good luck to you, Juan. We wish you the best. Okay. Wow, we're off to a raging start. $110 and 10 new members, and we're only 11 minutes and 56 seconds into the show. I don't know where this is going to go, but you guys know the rules. I have to do the Trump dance if we hit 200. I think that's the rule, or maybe we'll make it 400 because we're already ahead of the game. Okay. All right, let's get to our first topic of the night because this is what's making all the news right now. But before we do, let's go to that trivia question. Do I have a trivia question button here, Brian? That's the only button I don't have. Would you look at that? I don't have a trivia question. Is it? Oh, I don't need it. Would you look at that? All right. So here's the first trivia question of the night. Remember, you can answer in the poll, in the chat room, or in the comments below. Which infamous financial scandal from the 1920s involved a government official using their position to secretly lease federal oil reserves to private companies, similar to how Biden officials allegedly used an Autopen to sign orders without presidential knowledge? Was it A, the whiskey ring scandal, B, the teapot dome scandal, C, the Credit Mobilier scandal, or D, the Black Friday gold panic? Let's see how smart you guys are tonight. You guys did pretty good last night, I'll say. So let's see. No Googling, no cheating, no skipping ahead. All right, let's get into this topic here because it is on fire. They say when titans clash, the earth shakes. Well, folks, what just happened between Elon Musk and Donald Trump isn't just an earthquake. It's a nuclear detonation that's sending shockwaves through every corridor of power in America. What started as a budget disagreement has exploded into accusations so explosive, so devastating, they could reshape the entire political universe. Now, this is not about money anymore. This is about secrets, lies, and the most dangerous allegation you can make against any political figure. The gloves aren't just off, they have been set on fire and thrown into a powder keg. So keep watching. We have every dirty detail. Now, here is the hard truth, though. Every 6 years, your dollar loses half its buying power. That means $100,000 savings today can feel like $50,000 by 2031. You see it every time you fill up, you buy groceries or pay bills, prices up, dollars down. But here's a simple way to protect your savings with something real, something proven. It's gold, an asset that holds value over time. That's why I trust Noble Gold Investments. They make it simple to protect savings with physical gold or silver. No high-pressure sales, no call centers, just honest guidance and one-on-one support, transparent pricing too. Right now, when you open a qualified account, Noble Gold sends you a free 10-ounce silver American flag bar. So head over to nextnewsgold.com today. That's nextnewsgold.com, or you can call that number on the screen, 877-646-5347. Don't just protect your wealth, preserve its power. And when you call, tell Colin that Gary said hi, would you please? Now, folks, what you're about to see is the most public, most vicious, and possibly the most dangerous feud between two of the most powerful men on the planet. One, a sitting president, the leader of the free world. The other, a tech kingmaker, the man who controls satellites, electric cars, brain chips, and the nation's public square. It all unraveled in real time. A digital war zone playing out in tweets and truths, each post sharper than the last. And the craziest part, this entire blow-up may have started over a budget cut and a bruised ego. So I'm going to walk you through every move, every tweet, every betrayal, moment by moment, so you can decide for yourself, was this an honest feud or is something much bigger? A power grab to reshape the future of America without Trump in it? You're going to find out. So it started today when I got a text message from Zach Voorhees. This is the message he sent me. It was a screenshot of this. I said, no, this has got to be fake. I said, the text, the fonts, it doesn't look right. It looks like someone made this up and posted it. I said, we got to see if this is really on his timeline. Zach started sending me other messages that reinforced the statement, but he didn't send me the actual post. Eventually, I went and found it, and here it is. It wasn't a hoax. Elon Musk said, time to drop the really big bomb. Real Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. That is the real reason they have not been made public. Have a nice day, Donald John Trump. I said, holy cow. Elon Musk just dropped a nuke right on X. right in the middle of the MAGA universe. Now, people freaked out. The response was swift. Elon Musk even followed up. He says, mark this post for the future. The truth will come out. The comments, again, raw nationalists going, hey, wait a minute, is this true, Grok? And Grok even weighs in that evidence shows Trump's name is in Jeffrey Epstein's flight logs, part of the Epstein files, but there's no indication of wrongdoing. The files were released by Trump's administration on February 27, 2025, contradicting claims they were withheld to protect him. So even Grok is calling out Elon Musk. Alex Jones weighing in, saying Trump needs to respond ASAP. I noticed he didn't take questions at his public meeting today. Now, that was an hour ago. David J. Harris weighing in as well. You just lost all credibility, Elon. 6 hours before Alex's post of an hour ago, he says, God help us all. Drew Hernandez, friend of mine, he says, hey, Elon, I'm curious if what you're saying about Trump being in the Epstein files is true. How long have you known this? Why did you wait until now? Were you planning on just sitting on this forever? Genuine questions now that you have decided to release blackmail. Lex Friedman weighing in too. He said, that escalated quickly. Triple the security. Please be safe out there, brother. Your work, SpaceX, Tesla, XAI, Neuralink, it's important for the world. Brick Suit, another friend, he says if President Trump were in the files in any significant way, the Democrats would have already released them. That's how you know there's nothing major in there. And then Mary King, also, then why didn't Democrats drop this info years ago? Raheem Kassam, you blithering idiot. We reported that months ago. Also, it's been known for a long time. And by in the files, you mean his phone number was in the Epstein book. That's it. Okay, so it looks like, even Salty Cracker like this feels like WWF. Destiny Resendez, here's the reality, Musk. You are no more complicit in the lies than Trump or anyone else. If people are going to think that you're actually a genius, despite the fact you lied about being able to play a video game for no reason, you dated communist Grimes, you dated blah, blah, blah. So this is just going on and on. Ashton Forbes weighing in. Just here to be in the legendary thread. Also, I never doubted he was in the files. Welcome to the Uniparty. Enjoy your stay. Oh, damn. Now, I was going to weigh in, to join this legendary thread, but I'm like, you know what? I'm going to track the timeline instead. So we're bringing you this timeline. Alex Rosen, this is shocking, terrible. Do you believe Trump was in the Epstein files? Graham Allen, get on the phone with Trump and fix this. We've got a country to save. Dom Lucier, this will be known as the most expensive tweet of all time. Damon Imani, everybody who's anybody has weighed in on this. Biden had the FBI and DOJ. If they had something damning on Trump, they could have used it to win the 2024 election. No, exactly. MJ Truth Ultra. Dear friends, I need you to listen to the current spat between Musk and Trump. Feels planned and coordinated. Oh, doesn't it, though? Wall Street Apes, they weighed in. This post is going to force the full release of the Jeffrey Epstein files, and then we'll finally have accountability. Elon is playing 4D chess. Is that, and of course the memes all over the place. The fight of the century, the death match. Now, how did we get here? How did we get to this point? Now, note the timestamp here, 2:10 p.m. What happened just before this post was made? Well, let's walk it back for a minute, because let's go to Truth Social, and we're going to go ahead and take a look at this post here. This is what Donald Trump posted right here at 1:37 p.m. He said, Elon was wearing thin. I asked him to leave. I took away his EV mandate that forced everyone to buy electric cars that nobody else wanted, that he knew for months I was going to do, and he just went crazy. So that was posted just a few minutes before Elon dropped the Epstein bomb. And then Donald Trump, he posted this. The easiest way to save money in our budget, billions and billions of dollars, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I was always surprised that Biden didn't do it. So Donald Trump dropping two posts within seconds of each other. Like, these are both time-stamped at the exact same time. So Trump was like, boom, boom, like just nailing Truth Social. And then he popped this one off just an hour after that. He says, I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. This is one of the greatest bills ever presented to Congress. It's a record cut in expenses, $1.6 trillion, biggest tax cut ever given. If this bill doesn't pass, it'll be 68% tax increase and things far worse than that I didn't create. I didn't create this mess. I'm just here to fix it. This puts our country on a path of greatness. Make America great again. But it goes even further back, okay? Because Donald Trump was entertaining the German chancellor and at the White House today. What happened in the Oval Office? Well, let's take a look here. Because Elon took it to the next level. He kept doubling down on the Epstein stuff. But let's take a listen to what Donald Trump was saying in the Oval Office. I've got a clip here. I think it's about 3 minutes long, and it sums it up nicely. Listen.
Did he raise any?
So we've done a great job. Elon knew that.
Okay, so keep in mind, this video in the Oval Office was maybe about an hour before the Truth Social posts. Okay, and I'm going to take you back a little bit further after this because it goes back to when Elon was trashing Trump's bill just a few days prior. So this has all been building up over the last couple of days. We've been tracking it very closely. So let's just listen to this Oval Office moment.
Endorsed me very strong.
Now, again, it's highly likely that Elon was either watching this in real time, preparing to drop his bomb, strategizing what he was going to say, or he heard about it through the grapevine. He may have seen the Truth Social post because Elon dropped the Epstein nuke just moments after, maybe 25 minutes after the Truth Social post dropped. But let's watch.
He actually went up and campaigned for me. I think I would have won. Susie would say I would have won Pennsylvania easily anyway, even if the governor ran, the real governor, not the governor from Minnesota, he's a sick puppy, that guy. That poor guy, I feel sorry for him. But they made a bad choice with him. But if you pick Shapiro or anybody else, I spoke to him recently about his house being set on fire, which was terrible. But if they picked him, I would have won Pennsylvania. I won it by a lot. But I'm very disappointed because Elon knew the inner workings of this bill better than almost anybody sitting here, better than you people. He knew everything about it. He had no problem with it. All of a sudden he had a problem, and he only developed the problem when he found out that we're going to have to cut the EV mandate, because that's billions and billions of dollars, and it really is unfair. We want to have cars of all types. Electric, we want to have electric, but we want to have a gasoline, combustion. We want to have different. We want to have hybrids. We want to have we want to be able to sell everything. And when that was cut, and Congress wanted to cut it, he became a little bit different, and I can understand that. But
now this is where he starts to go really in on Elon Musk, and he practically predicts what Elon Musk's next move is going to be. Pay very close attention now.
He knew every aspect of this bill. He knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me, and he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next. But I'm very disappointed in Elon. I've helped Elon a lot.
Did you hear what he said there? Listen.
Of this bill, he knew it better than almost anybody, and he never had a problem until right after he left. And if you saw the statements he made about me, which I'm sure you can get very easily, it's very fresh on tape. He said the most beautiful things about me. And he hasn't said bad about me personally, but I'm sure that'll be next.
I'm sure that will be next. And shortly thereafter, Trump made the post on Truth Social, and Elon Musk dropped the Epstein bomb. Right here. The one I just showed you at the beginning. All right. Now, here's where it gets even crazier. So here's the nuke he drops. Elon Musk doubles down. A little while later, he even says yes to the impeachment of Donald Trump. Ian Miles Chong says, President versus Elon, who wins? My money's on Elon. Trump should be impeached, and J.D. Vance should replace him. Kind of shocked to hear that from Ian Miles Chong, but hey, he's entitled to his opinion. But Elon Musk chiming in with a quote tweet saying, yes, that Trump should be impeached. Okay, that's wild. Now, President Trump, as he said, that the easiest way to save money on our budget, billions and billions, is to terminate Elon's government subsidies and contracts. I always surprised that Biden didn't do it. So Trump is literally threatening all the subsidies that Elon's getting. So Elon fires back. I don't care, fine. In light of the president's statement about cancellation of my government contracts, SpaceX will begin decommissioning its Dragon spacecraft immediately. Think about that. Elon's like, forget about it. You guys, you want to play games? What is NASA? What is the government getting out of those programs that Elon Musk has been putting in? The benefit that Elon has provided with his freaking rocket ships, all right, saving NASA astronauts that Biden left in space. Am I right? So what's really going on here? Is this a big troll? Is this a big psyop just so we can start talking about it? Is Elon Musk really turning on Trump? I don't know. But let's keep going, because he turned the knife. He turned the frickin' knife even more. Elon Musk, 5 hours ago, posting this video, MSNBC, a smear job trying to connect Donald Trump to Elon Musk. This is the infamous video that MSNBC released.
Trump of a Mar-a-Lago party shows Trump giving Epstein his personal attention. The footage, shot in November of 1992, before Trump opened the resort as a club, shows the future president surrounded by cheerleaders for the Buffalo Bills and Miami Dolphins, capturing Trump's fun-loving bachelor lifestyle for an appearance on Faith Daniels' NBC talk show.
We're going to get great ratings in your show.
Trump is surrounded by women as music blares in the background. After a while, Trump goes to greet 3 new guests. Among them, the financier Jeffrey Epstein.
Come on in. Go inside.
More than a decade before his guilty plea on state prostitution charges. Later in the footage, Trump is seen talking to Epstein and another man as women are dancing in front of them. Trump alternates between dancing and pointing out women to Epstein and the other man and telling Epstein about the cameras. Though exactly what they say is difficult to understand as they discuss the women and their appearances, Trump gestures to one and appears to say to Epstein, "Look at her back there. She's hot."
Now, I don't think there's anything wrong with pointing out beautiful women. But what MSNBC is doing here is guilt by association, because we know that when Donald Trump found out what Epstein was doing, this was a decade. You heard the MSNBC reporter point out a decade before Epstein was convicted. So later on, Trump kicked him out of Mar-a-Lago because he knew it turned out to be a scumbag. But of course, MSNBC using that as a smear tactic to try to use guilt by association, which is what Elon Musk just did as well. And he just had this little emoji with this curious face emoji going, what's going on here? So Elon turning the knife, throwing the guilt by association MSNBC piece right in the face of Donald Trump in the middle of their spat. Now, a couple days earlier, we had this headline from Fox News, which basically kicked off this whole thing. White House stands by tax bill after Musk calls it a disgusting abomination. Okay, here is the original post. Elon calls out Trump's big, beautiful bill on the timeline. A disgusting abomination will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to $2.5 trillion. Okay, so here's what he said. It will massively increase the already gigantic budget deficit to $2.5 trillion and burden American citizens with crushingly unsustainable debt. I'm sorry, but I just can't stand it anymore. This massive, outrageous, pork-filled congressional spending bill is a disgusting abomination. Now, you got to think about what Elon had just gone through. Okay, let's put it into perspective. Elon Musk goes on the campaign trail, puts out millions and millions of dollars to support President Trump, proposes the Doge initiative, goes into Washington, D.C., and cuts out $160 billion in waste, fraud, and abuse. And for that, for that wonderful thing he did for the American people, he was punished by the radical leftists, especially those special interests that were getting the money from USAID that was getting funneled all over the world. His cars were destroyed. His dealerships were firebombed. His life was threatened. Just average Tesla owners couldn't even drive their cars for fear of being assaulted. So Elon Musk took a massive hit to surrender his lifestyle and go into Washington to clean up the swamp. Now, he didn't hit the $2 trillion number that he wanted in the timeline he was allowed, 130 days as a special government employee, where he didn't take any money. So in that, but he did, okay, listen, he said, I'm going to cut $2 trillion. He didn't say he's going to do it in the first, 130 days. Let's say Doge is still in action. Doge is still working without Elon Musk. It's still there. The Big Balls is still swinging for the fences and cutting out all this stuff from all around the swamp. So maybe they will hit that $2 trillion number. But the point is, when Elon says he's going to go ahead and cut $2 trillion, and then he sees this number that the budget deficit is going to balloon to $2.5 trillion, it's like counterproductive to all the work that Elon just sacrificed all of his companies for. Right? So Elon is freaking pissed. Elon is super pissed. Now, of course, the Doge cuts were not included in this bill. That was one of the big criticisms that a lot of people had. Codified Doge, codified Doge, codified Doge. You heard it all the time, but that didn't happen. Now, Speaker Johnson, he came out, he said, you know what, we're going to work on the Doge codification later on. They're going to isolate it, they're going to put it into a separate package, and they're going to work on that. And, for whatever reason. And then, of course, you have people like Rand Paul, you have people like Thomas Massey, even Marjorie Taylor Greene pushing back against the big, beautiful bill for their own reasons. Because there's always a poison pill stuck into these bills. It always happens. There's always something that someone's going to complain about, and they're going to stand on principle, which is fine. They're going to stand on principle, and they're going to say, I'm not going to vote for this bill. But you got to sometimes go, listen, look at all the good that's in this bill, the benefits for the American people. And, I think Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's pissed off because there's something about AI at the state level. It basically locks out the states from having any say. I'm not too clear exactly what her beef is. It has something to do with AI in the states. Maybe you guys can fill in the blanks in the comments. But so there is some pushback against it. But I think this really comes down to the fact that Elon risked everything, his companies and his life, literally, by going into Doge to cut $2 trillion, and then all of a sudden the budget deficit is going to blast past $2.5 trillion, basically rendering all of his work moot. Now, what's going to happen next? I don't know. I hope these guys are going to make up. We can take a look and see if Elon has put out anything else on his timeline. There were some other things that he posted. Again, here we have this. He just posted this 8 hours ago. He asked, is it time to create a new political party in America that actually represents the 80% in the middle? 81% said yes. 19% said no. Almost 3.4 million people voted in that poll. Now, I don't think that we need to have a new political party. I think that's just going to take away from one or the other. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to vote no. Can I do that? Yes. Did I vote no? Someone voted yes for me, I guess. Is that what they did? Someone voted yes for me? Okay. Here he is quoting, reposting some stuff about Starlink minis in Zimbabwe. That's cool stuff. More videos here. Promoting about active Elon does ketamine, ex-active users, Trump on Elon's list. Okay, some more stuff with the SpaceX rockets and American flags, but there's another post here. If America goes broke, nothing else matters. He was quote tweeting his own group, America. If the country goes insolvent, if all the money is just spent on paying interest on debt, there's no money left for anything. A country is no different from a person. So here he's presenting a video of himself. Elon Musk laughing at this 2 hours ago with Vance. Slow news day. What are we even going to talk about? And he's sitting with Theo Von. Elon Musk laughing about that situation. He posted this from Senator Rand Paul 11 hours ago, reposting, I'd vote for it. if we got real spending cuts, but this bill is the largest debt increase in U.S. history, $5 trillion. It's like giving your 16-year-old a credit card, watching them rack up $2,000 on booze and gambling, then raising their limit to $10,000. Irresponsible. So Rand Paul's totally against this thing. Now, here's something interesting. I thought this was sort of like a... When I saw him repost this, I thought to myself, what message is he trying to say here? I felt like he was trying to kind of calm the waters a little bit. Elon's stance is principles. Trump's stance is practical. Tech needs Republicans for the present. Republicans need tech for the future. Drop the tax cuts, cut some pork, and get the bill through. So it seems like this was the olive branch after the bomb that he dropped by doing the smear post with the MSNBC video with Jeffrey Epstein. It's like this is his follow-up. Trump's stance is practical, tech needs Republicans. It's like, okay, guys, we got to work together, drop the tax cuts, cut some pork, get the bill through. Yeah, it's like maybe that's what he's trying to do. But at the end of the day, when you go ahead and you drop a bomb in the middle of the frickin', the Trumposphere with Elon Musk and all the work he's been doing, for him to go ahead and say, time to drop the really big bomb, Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they haven't been made public. I mean, the responses were crazy. Alex Jones, timeline pin drop. Tim Young. Then why did they let Biden or a Soros DA release the files? It would have been on par with them going after Trump. Trump better release all the Epstein files sooner. He's going to look really, really bad. Elon is the new CNN, says Jay. Trump was on the plane, well-established knowledge, but never went to the island, flew from Palm Beach to New Jersey with the same plane that Epstein used. Elon thinking he landed a big shot is a joke. This is 10-year-old news and extremely misleading. If he's in the Epstein files, why didn't Biden release them? See, what's going on here, and then you got the meme here with Z and Putin and the leader of North Korea. Hey, you seeing this, bro? Hold up, I got a line, bro. Okay, so here's what I'm thinking. This is my takeaway at the end of the day here. I think that Elon just decided to throw a freaking Molotov right in the middle of the magosphere just to create the stir. Because a lot of these commenters are making the good point. If there was any there, it would be there. And it would be everywhere. You follow me? But there's nothing there. So Elon's he's just stirring the pot. That's all it is. There's these two guys going back and forth. The biggest egos on the frickin' planet. The biggest tech billionaire. And you got the most powerful man in the world, the president of the United States, who were just working together to clean out the swamp. And now, I had a feeling this was going to happen at some point. There was going to be a dirty breakup. I mean, for heaven's sake, just last week, Elon was in the Oval Office. He was in the Oval Office, and Trump gave him the key to the White House, the golden key to the White House. So we're going to have to wait and see how this all plays out, but you now know my take. I mean, everyone's there. Everyone's weighing in. I want to hear you weigh in. Of course, this picture pops up too with Elon and Ghislaine Maxwell. And I was told the story behind this specific picture is that if you look at how Ghislaine is standing, she's kind of standing behind him, and someone snapped the picture. Like she kind of walked up, she got the picture, and that was it. Now, we don't know if there's another picture of them closer together or not, but Elon claims that she just kind of walked up, right? So we'll have to wait and see how this all pans out. So this isn't just another billionaire temper tantrum, folks. It could be a calculated attempt to destroy the America First movement from within. Now, I don't know. I'm just speculating. I mean, do you think about the timing, though? Trump's peace negotiations with Putin, his massive legislative victory, soaring approval ratings. Suddenly, Elon drops bombs, unsubstantiated Epstein accusations. I mean, it reeks of desperation from someone who thought he could control the president like a puppet, right? Or maybe he's just butthurt. I mean, when Trump cut the strings by threatening those subsidies, Elon went ballistic, though. That's true. He went straight for the jugular with one accusation that requires zero proof but maximum damage. So here's what should terrify every American. If tech billionaires can attempt to destroy a sitting president over contract disputes, what does that really say about who runs the country? The fact that Elon is willing to sabotage SpaceX. It could be a bluff. Oh, I'm going to cut your contracts. Oh, fine. I'm going to cut Dragon. I'm going to shut it down. And he's willing to crash the economy to get revenge. Maybe he was never about making America great again to begin with. I mean, he did go in there. I'll give him credit for what he did with Doge. Right? So here's my question. Should threatening national security over personal feuds be considered treason? Do you think this is a giant troll? Do you think they're going to kiss and make up? I want to hear your thoughts about this in the comments below. And if you support what we do here at the Next News Network, you can wear your support for real journalism, not propaganda, on your sleeve by hitting our merch shop. Link down below. This is Gary Franchi, and this feud is far from over. All right, now you know my take on that. Looks like we have some super chats. Before we get to the answer, Brian, don't bring it up. We got a super chat to get to. Okay, where was it? There was the $100 that came from Juan. Nice. Paul Kendall says, always a great show. Keep up the reporting and commentary. Thank you, Paul, for that. Boom. $5 in the Alex Jones was right jar. Juan Ruiz, the frog is going to have to get up and do the Trump dance. Maybe the frog will do the Trump dance. Where's P2? P2. There's P2. All right. The frog, the Alex Jones frog, made his way to the White House, did some damage there, lives forever now on the shelf of propaganda at the White House. So this is for Juan Ruiz. Thank you for that $10, Juan. And then, wow, another one. Look at that. Juan dropping $50. He says, I don't care. I still like Elon, but I'm more of a Trump lover. Yeah, you know, I saw you guys' comments about that. Here's $50 right there. Thank you, Movie Theater Money. Boom, right there. $50. Jacob W. just gifted 5 memberships. What's up, Jacob? Thank you for that. Nikki, XJ Dub, GO2, Cheryl, All, and Bellatopia become a member. Our boy dropping 10. He says, welcome to the show. What we're witnessing will be in the history books under the art of the deal. All right. Yes, it will be. $10 right there. Parmas Dax gifting 1 membership. Who received it? Kim Carroll. She got it. And then Parmas decided she could give $5 too. Thank you, Parmas. Excuse me. Going back to the Alex Jones was right jar. Right there for you. Boom. And then Fishman also dropping $5. Sweet. What does he say? I think this is all a dog and pony show. To me, the China fungus is a way bigger deal that could actually unalive many people. Well said, Fishman. There's $5 in the jar from you. Okay, so now you guys want to know the answer to that question. I'll get you that answer right now. You guys said A, the whiskey ring scandal. You're wrong. Yeah, you're wrong, guys. Right out the gate, you guys got that wrong. Brian? Yeah, sorry, guys. Maybe better luck next time. The answer is B, the Teapot Dome scandal, where Interior Secretary Albert Fall secretly leased oil reserves, showing how government officials have historically abused their positions for personal gain. Yeah, the Teapot Dome scandal. 1920s. Now you guys learned something today. All right, we're moving on to our next topic of the night. And here is the next question for you. Which president's legislative package in 1981 included both massive tax cuts and spending reforms, creating a blueprint that Trump's one big beautiful bill appears to follow? Is it A, Jimmy Carter's Energy Security Act, B, Ronald Reagan's Economic Recovery Act, C, George H.W. Bush's Budget Enforcement Act, or D, Bill Clinton's Omnibus Budget Reconciliation Act? Leave your answer in the poll, in the chat, or in the comments below. We're going to get to that answer right after this. Right now, behind closed doors in Washington, Democrats are having a complete meltdown. Why? Because Donald Trump just pulled off a legislative equivalent of a magic trick, making them completely disappear from the process. 0 Democrat votes needed, 0 Democrat input allowed, 0 Democrat amendments accepted. This is pure, undiluted MAGA legislation that's about to transform America in ways the establishment never saw coming. So what's in this bill that is tech billionaires panicking, like Elon Musk, illegals packing, and working families celebrating? Well, the details will blow your mind, so keep on watching. Now, you know this beautiful bill, Trump's big, beautiful bill. It promises to save American families thousands in taxes. But here's what Democrats don't want you thinking about. While you're keeping more of your paycheck, our food supply chain faces a hidden crisis. The very honeybees that pollinate 1/3 of our crops are vanishing. Just like Trump's fighting to restore American prosperity, Patriot Bee Best fights to restore our bee population. This veteran-owned movement isn't just saving bees, they're securing our food independence. Because what good are tax cuts if we can't feed our families? When you support patriotbeebest.com, you're backing both missions and economic freedom and food security. You can subscribe today with code NEXTNEWS for 25% off. Visit patriotbeebest.com and join the hive that's making agriculture great again. Now, Patriots, what we're witnessing right now is history in the making. Trump's one big beautiful bill isn't just another piece of legislation. It's the conservative revolution that we've been fighting for since Reagan. And what is the best part? Well, the swamp creatures can't stop it. Let me show you why exactly Stephen Miller calls this the culmination of 10 years of MAGA warfare. Now, this man has been in the trenches since day one, and his excitement is off the charts. Watch.
There's never been a bill like this bill since there has been a conservative movement. This represents the culmination, in the case of the MAGA movement, of 10 years of hard work. This bill would have been unthinkable in 2017 in the Paul Ryan era. In this bill is the codification of President Trump's most important campaign promises. It is done through a process known as reconciliation, which allows us to enact them into law with 50 votes, not 60. No Democrats are involved. There's no trading with Democrats. No Democrats are involved in the writing or crafting of this bill. Nor is it written by the Appropriations Committee. This bill is written by the most conservative lawmakers in Congress, people like Jim Jordan. It's written out of the policy-making committees by the Republican members there. So, for example, as has been much discussed, it fully funds the deportation agenda. It fully funds massive expansions of the number of ICE deportation officers, ICE beds, ICE deportation flights, and the complete permanent physical sealing of the entire southwest border. All of that money, all of that funding is provided up front. This was a 10-year plan. In other words, going back to 2017, when Paul Ryan didn't give us the money for the immigration project, for 10 years, we thought, given the chance to do it again, we would put all of the immigration money in the first bill out of the chute up front. That's what this bill does. And also significant additional changes to the administration of our immigration system. For example, there's language in here cracking down on nationwide injunctions. There's language in here raising the fees on foreigners coming to our country so that we can protect the American taxpayer. There's language in here expanding the mission of the Defense Department to seal and protect the U.S. border, and I could go on. Of course, the bill also includes in it every single tax promise that President Trump made on the campaign trail, but in particular, the populist tax promises to forge that deep alliance with the working class of this country. No tax on tips, no tax on Social Security, no tax on overtime.
So did you catch that? No Democrats involved, none. This is reconciliation at its finest. Only 50 votes needed in the Senate. Paul Ryan could never deliver this. Remember, Paul Ryan, he was the stopgap for the establishment, the rhino that held his position to be the roadblock for Donald Trump. Establishment Republicans could never dream this big, but Trump, he's delivering everything. Steven Crowder, who's been skeptical of big spending bills before, he's calling this the biggest fiscal conservative win in 2 decades. So here's his breakdown of why even fiscal hawks should celebrate. Watch.
Is it the biggest win that we've had in 2 decades? Yeah, I would say this as far fiscally for conservatives, it would be the biggest win that I can think of in 2 decades.
It's not going to come in one chunk. Why don't you take the wins when you can get them? $1.7 trillion in cuts, tax cuts that actually help the economy grow and go to the number one thing, inflation and price of goods and jobs. That's actually very good for us. Why don't you take the wins where you can get them and go, I know I'm a rational human being. Yeah. I can't stop the debt ceiling from going up this time around. If I wanted to try that, you want to see what the apocalypse looks like, go for it. Unless you have a plan. I haven't heard a plan.
But by the way, here's the thing too. We just had Donald Trump, President Trump's approval. I believe it's at 52% on Rasmussen. It's up, and this isn't direction of the country. This is Donald Trump approval. Yeah. It's going up.
Trump's approval is going up. Well, he's right though. 1.7 trillion in cuts, plus tax relief that actually helps working Americans. I mean, when was the last time Republicans delivered a win that big? I'll wait. I'll keep waiting. But here's where it gets really exciting. CNBC, they just reported that our trade deficit got cut by more than half. And the numbers don't lie. Trump's economic policies are already working before this bill even passes. Watch.
On the trade balance, and do remember, last week's advance only included goods. This one includes goods and services, comes in at minus 61.6 billion. That's about 5 billion less than we were expecting in terms of the deficit, but it does follow a revised 138 billion with a minus sign that was 140 billion, and that of course was an all-time record trade balance of goods and services. And as you can see, it has now been cut by more than half, and the big drop in imports seems to be where everyone's pointing. The big news there is how much it bolsters GDP. Just look at Atlanta Fed GDP now, which is at 4.64%.
GDP at 4.64%. When Biden left office, we were headed for recession. Now we are headed for a golden age. But the establishment can't handle prosperity, and that's why Elon Musk is melting down. Now let's talk about what's really in this bill. Full funding for the deportation force, every penny Trump needs to remove every illegal alien. The entire border wall system, not just patches, but it's complete coverage from sea to shining sea. And ICE gets everything. More agents, more detention beds, more deportation flights. Yeah, but it's not just about enforcement. HHS Secretary Turner just explained how we're finally adding work requirements to Medicaid. Imagine that. Work requirements? Yes, no more able-bodied adults sitting at home playing video games while you pay their bills. Watch.
One thing that the Republicans in the House were not able to change because it was just too heavy a lift, Congressman Chip Roy really pushed for this, couldn't make it happen, is that under the Obamacare Medicaid expansion, the states, for every dollar a state spends on Medicaid, they get $9 from the federal government. And for the very disabled, the needy, pregnant women, elderly people, they get $1.33 from the federal government for every dollar. And that is how we are compassionate individuals, all of us. We're a benevolent society, but again, the people in need are the ones who are not being supported, and it's the people who are literally playing video games in a recliner every day who get more money.
Exactly.
And it's that way in housing.
Exactly. You think about people that come against this, but it's common sense compassion. Common sense says that if you are able-bodied, if you are able-minded, you need to work, and particularly if you're receiving government subsidies. And so again, historically, both Republicans and Democrats have been for this, and I think the time is now, the season is now to implement work requirements, to implement, time limits, to help the American people to change the trajectory of their lives, and particularly, David, those that are on government subsidies.
It's common sense returning to Washington. If you can work, you will work, period. It's not cruel. That's compassion for taxpayers and tough love for freeloaders. And the tax cuts? Oh, the tax cuts are beautiful. No tax on tips. Waitresses and bartenders keep every penny. Yeah, think about that. No tax on overtime. Work harder, keep more. No tax on Social Security. I mean, why the hell are we taxing Social Security to begin with? Seniors are finally going to get relief. This is blue-collar economics at its finest. Senate Republicans are unified like never before. Watch Senator Barrasso explain how this bill stops the largest tax increase in history while securing America. Watch.
Republicans are committed to a safe and prosperous America. And that's what this bill does. It provides for safety as well as prosperity for the American people. We shared with the president the fact that the American people trust Republicans much more on the economy than they do the Democrats. And this bill does what the American people want us to do. And the number one and most important thing is that this bill prevents a $4 trillion tax increase, which would be the largest tax increase in the history of the country. Democrats want that tax increase to come into place. Republicans are going to stop it. Additionally, I'm a doctor, took care of patients for a long, long time, took care of many, many patients on Medicaid. We need to strengthen Medicaid for the people that it's designed to take care of. And that means we have to stop paying, the taxpayers need to stop paying for Medicaid for illegal immigrants. We're going to unleash American energy. All of these things are going to lower costs, increase wages, and put more money into people's pockets.
$4 trillion in tax increases. That's what Democrats wanted. Tax increases. Instead, we're getting tax cuts, border security, and American energy dominance. Leader Thune made it crystal clear after meeting with Trump that failure is not an option. The entire Republican team is rowing in the same direction. Watch.
Good afternoon, everyone. We all want to thank the president and his team for hosting us down here. We had a very positive discussion about the path forward on the big, beautiful bill, on the reconciliation bill. And I think it was a reminder that we are all in this together. This is a team effort, and everybody is going to be rowing in the same direction to get this across the finish line. Failure is not an option, and we intend to deliver along with the president for the American people on the things that he committed to do and that we committed to do in terms of the agenda. And so the reconciliation bill will be positive for growth. It'll be good for the economy. It'll create better paying jobs. And we intend on energy, on national security, on spending reductions, on tax policy, on border security, all of those areas to address the issues the American people care about to make them more safe, more secure, and more prosperous.
Now, even Rand Paul, who's voted against plenty of Republican bills, he supports the tax cuts. Sure, he's worried about the debt ceiling, but he knows these policies will supercharge growth. Watch.
Our friend, Kentucky Senator Rand Paul. Senator Paul, as always, good to see you.
Thank you. Thank you.
So President Trump has a disagreement with you, or you with him. He says you're always voting no. You deny that. I know you endorse Mr. Trump, even though it was after the election. But are you always voting no? Are you Dr. No?
Well, I do recall voting no on 2 of his impeachments, and I think he was okay with those no's.
Yes.
I do recall voting yes on his cabinet. I do recall guiding through Kristi Noem through my committee to be appointed in very quick fashion. So I think I've been quite supportive of the president, but I think in some ways we're talking past each other. So, for example, I support the tax cuts. I don't think the CBO is right. I think and agree with Art Laffer that you can reduce rates and get more revenue. I think that's what happened in 2017. I think the tax cuts have largely paid for themselves. I think renewing tax cuts that already exist, it's ridiculous to say that somehow that is going to cause a new deficit when they're just simply keeping the same policy. The disagreement I have is not over that. I don't agree with the CBO at all on all that nonsense on the taxes. I think spending cuts could be more, but even that, I'm willing to take an imperfect bill that doesn't cut spending. What bothers me and what indicates that the deficits will roll on no matter what your fancy calculations have done for us, Larry, they want to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. This year, it will be $2.2 trillion, and that was voted on by mostly Republicans, not this Republican, but most Republicans in March voted to continue the Biden spending levels. So when we get to the end of the year, $2.2 trillion, but they want to raise the debt ceiling $5 trillion. So they're anticipating at least that much or more. I hope you're right. I hope the deficits go down, but why are they wanting to borrow $5 trillion if they really believe the deficit is going to go down?
Okay, so let's take a look back at the House side, okay, because Thomas Massie, he didn't like the bill at all. Of course, it's already passed the House, moving to the Senate side. So, but just remember this, okay? Massie voted for Ron DeSantis, okay? There he is with Ron DeSantis. Everyone's bringing up that point. Laura Loomer says, I'd like to remind everybody that Massie endorsed DeSantis for president. Rand Paul refused to endorse Trump. Massie and Paul both opposed the big, beautiful bill. Now DeSantis has sent out his email attacking Trump. I wonder if Elon Musk is going to fund it. What? I wonder if Elon Musk is going to fund Casey DeSantis' gubernatorial campaign. I will be watching closely. Taking another look here. Here's where Thomas Massie posted this 11 hours ago. The big, beautiful bill contains a provision banning state and local governments from regulating AI. This is also what Marjorie Taylor Greene was complaining about. He says it's worse than you think. It would make it easier for corporations to get zoning variances so massive AI data centers could be built in close proximity to residential areas. Is that really, like, that's your big beef? A data center near a residential area? Okay. Like, dude, get over it, man. Like, AI is the future. Data centers bring jobs. I don't get it. Whatever. Okay, so let's cut to the chase. The bill represents total victory. Every campaign promise funded. Every Democrat scheme defunded, every American worker protected, every illegal alien targeted. This is what winning looks like. So if you got value from this report, tap subscribe. Now it's time for my final thought. This bill is the death blow to the uniparty system. For decades, Republicans promised conservative victories, but delivered watered-down compromises. They'd negotiate with Democrats, add pork for lobbyists, and call it bipartisanship. Well, not anymore. Trump just showed every future Republican president how it's done. You win elections, you deliver for your voters, period. No apologies, no compromises, and no surrender. The fact that tech billionaires and warmongers are having meltdowns proves this bill hits the target. They know their days of controlling both parties are over. And this is what a hostile takeover of Washington looks like, and it's beautiful. Every illegal alien deported, every welfare freeloader working, every American family keeping more money. That's not extremism. That's common sense governance. The establishment said that Trump couldn't pass major legislation without Democrat votes. Wrong again. So here's my question for you. Should every Republican bill from now on bypass Democrats completely? Simple yes or no. Drop your answer in the comments below. And then head to our merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and gear up for the MAGA revolution, because this is only the beginning, Patriots. All right. I want to check in with the super chats, but I am going to text the link out to my friend who just asked me in the middle of one of those segments. He said, Gary, what do you think about this Elon Musk dust-up? I said, I'm live, bro. Come on, man. watch my live. Mitchell, I'm calling you out right now. I'm calling you out right now. Live. He's texting me. You better be watching. Yeah, he says I'm watching. You wouldn't have had to text me if you were already watching. I know you got that notification. I love you, Mitchell. All right, Mitchell, jump in the chat room, would you? We got this poll. You want to maybe you want to weigh in. I don't know. Okay, let's see. Okay, do we get any super chats here yet? Nah. No. Okay, so let's go to our trivia question. You guys said B, that was the Reagan Economic Recovery Act. Let's find out. Yes, the answer was, in fact, B. Well done. Well done. You guys make me so proud. Yes, it was B, Ronald Reagan's Economic Recovery Act, which combined massive tax cuts with spending reforms, proving conservative economics works when Republicans have the courage to implement it. So, Mitchell, as you're watching and you want to find out my take on the whole Elon Musk thing, just scroll it back before that last segment. I go into great detail, the full timeline about how everything unfolded, and then give you my take on all the different points. So, there you go, buddy. Little message. Good insight. Thanks for the shout out. Never thought about that angle. All right. Okay, where are we going from here? Okay, we got the Autopen. Yeah, baby. This thing is not going away as much as Democrats wish it would. Biden family. Okay, where are we at? Okay, this is our question. Historical trivia question. Which constitutional amendment would be violated if unelected officials were proven to have exercised presidential powers without authorization while a president was incapacitated? Let me repeat that. Which constitutional amendment would be violated if unelected officials were proven to have exercised presidential powers without authorization while the president was incapacitated? A, the 10th Amendment, states' rights. B, the 25th Amendment, presidential succession. C, the 14th Amendment, due process. Or D, the 22nd Amendment, term limits. You guys weigh in the chat room, in the comments, or in the poll, and we're going to get your answer. Don't Google the answer. That's cheating. Okay? Don't ask ChatGPT either. All right? Oh, really? Juan Ruiz, you're going to throw that in my face? You think you can drop $150 in the chat and Franchi's just going to do the frickin' Trump dance? Okay. He says too easy, but now you owe us a Trump dance. I guess he's right. He's right. Those are the rules. Those are the rules. Trump dance, you dropped $5 into the jar, and now you get a Trump dance. Because, no. Actually, no. We're $199.99. That's the official tally right now. So you're a penny short, buddy. You're a penny short. Oh, don't fall. Okay. All right. All right, let's go to the Autopen scandal. Maybe someone will find a penny in the couch. Oh, shit. You found more than a penny. All right. You win this time, you meddling kids. Okay, here we go. There's $20 from Juan. All right, so YMCA. Let me see. Do the wait. Tap. YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. Oh, YMCA. YMCA. Okay, you happy? All right. You want me to stand up and do it? YMCA. Why? Actually, Brian, you can undo the vert lock and you can make it stand up so it follows. There we go. Yeah. Did you do it? YMCA. YMCA. You can get yourself clean. You can have a good meal. You can do whatever you feel. All right, look at that. Fancy new camera in studio, guys. 4K AI auto tracking. Okay, you guys win. You win this time, you meddling kids. All right, what is this? Jeremy Olsen dropping $2. Okay. You guys don't want to hear about the latest on the Autopen. You guys want to see me dance a fool. Okay, fine. All right, there's $2 from Jeremy. Our boy dropping $5. He's like, I'll see your penny, and I'll raise you 499 pennies. All right, okay. Here we go. There we go. Tom B 420. Right on. Okay. Yeah, Marilyn, she said the same thing. Holy cow, she said that. She said exactly what I said. Marilyn, I'll see your penny and raise you 999 pennies. Okay, guys. All right, we're having too much fun tonight. All right, we got to get serious, though. We got to get serious because what they're doing to this country, what they did to this country, while Joe Biden was sleeping in his frickin' applesauce, signing bills, signing legislation, signing executive orders at a rate that is inhumanly possible. I mean, what the frick? All right, where's the stupid cable? All right, okay, get that cable going. All right. All right, let's go, Brian. I don't even want to look at the big chat. I don't even want to see what you guys are saying there. You guys are just going to scare me over there. This is ridiculous. See? Nishpak Quest. This is ridiculous. All right, let's go. 5 senior Biden staffers are about to be hauled before Congress. And what's their crime? Using a machine to forge the president's signature on God knows how many official documents while he suffered cognitive decline. We're continuing our coverage of the Autopen scandal that's exploding across Washington. James Comer just announced criminal referrals are coming. Trump's DOJ is launching a full investigation, and the list of suspects reads like a who's who of radical left operatives who hijacked our government. Subpoenas are flying, lawyers are panicking, and the biggest question remains. If Biden wasn't signing the orders, who was really running America? The names we're about to reveal will infuriate you. So keep on watching. And while Congress investigates the who forged Biden's signatures on executive orders, millions of Americans are forging ahead with natural pain relief that actually works. If you're getting to that age where your body hurts all the time, listen up. Don't reach for another painkiller until you learn about this turmeric hack for pain and inflammation. Regular turmeric might help a little, but a Connecticut pain doctor discovered a special extract that's 200 times more powerful. And when he shared this hack with patients, the results were shocking. This extract attacks pain at the source, turning it off like a light switch. Dr. Josh spent 20 years helping thousands break free from constant aches. No expensive surgeries, pain injections, or ineffective medications, just pain-free living. Once I started taking it regularly, I noticed a real difference. You can learn about Dr. Josh's turmeric hack at goldenrevive.com/NNN. It's linked down below. Now, my friends, the Autopen scandal just went nuclear. President Trump, he's not mincing words about what he calls the biggest scandal in 100 years. Watch him drop this bombshell in the Oval Office earlier today, when a reporter simply tried to downplay the story. Watch.
Somebody said Autopen. Did I hear the word Autopen? I'm just curious. Because I think it's the biggest scandal maybe in the last 100 years in this country. So when I hear that word, I think it has to be discussed because the fake news will try and, hide it, and we can't do that. But go ahead.
Have you uncovered any evidence that anything specific was signed without President Biden's knowledge or by other people in the administration acting illegally?
Well, I don't think Biden would know whether or not he signed it.
I'm asking if you've uncovered any evidence.
No, but I've uncovered, the human mind. I was in a debate with the human mind, and I didn't think he knew what the hell he was doing. So, it's just one of those things, one of those problems. We can't ever allow that to happen to our country. The danger our country was in, and I know some of the people that worked with him, radical left, horrible people. And I could give you the name of some of the people that used the Autopen, because I'm here, and I ask questions about people that were here also. There are a lot of people that were here when that happened, and they're here right now, and they'll answer your question very accurately. But I know some of the people that use that Autopen, and those are not the people that had the same ideology as Joe Biden. These were radical left lunatics that used that, and they didn't get elected. He didn't get elected either, actually.
He didn't get elected either. Radical left lunatics, that's who Trump says used the Autopen, and he knows their names. He's been asking questions, and people who were there are talking. And it goes deeper than anyone imagined. Trump doubled down on just how serious this constitutional crisis really is. His comparison to the 2020 election tells you everything about the magnitude of this scandal. Watch.
Your predecessor dismissed your Autopen investigation and made all the decisions during the presidency. I'm curious your reaction to his dismissal.
Well, look, the Autopen, I think, is the big scandal outside of the rigged election of 2020. I think the biggest scandal of the last many years is the Autopen. And who's using it? I happen to think I know, okay, because I'm here. And I'm not a big Autopen person, fortunately. I'm glad. I'm very glad. It's an easy way out. But it's a very bad thing, very dangerous. I sign important documents. Usually when they put documents in front of you, they're important. Even if you're signing ambassadorships, and I consider that important. I think it's inappropriate. You have somebody that's devoting 4 years of their life or more to being an ambassador. I think you really that person deserves to get a real signature, not an Autopen signature. And I can tell Autopen easily. I can look at it. Like two little pinholes from pulling the paper, right? You always see the pinholes. Yeah. It's real easy to tell about Autopen.
Those pinholes he mentioned, that's how you spot an Autopen signature. Two little holes from the machine gripping the paper. Trump can spot them instantly, and now investigators are going back through thousands of documents looking for those telltale marks. But here's where it gets really interesting. Byron Donalds just revealed the investigation is moving at lightning speed, and these Biden officials better lawyer up fast. Watch.
You're having some hearings, you're going through the evidence. Out of the testimony and evidence you've looked through so far, what's jumping off the page to you so far?
Well, I mean, look, right now we're just getting started. I know the first batch of letters that went out, those members of the Biden administration did not want to come in and sit for a transcribed interview. So in my view, we need to just go ahead and subpoena them. Let's not play games. The statement that was just released by President Biden, let's just be perfectly honest, he didn't write that statement because the American people know that he hasn't been able to have a coherent statement towards the American people in well over 2 years. This is, again, them covering up. We already know that he was an elderly gentleman with a faulty memory. That came out of the special counsel's report, and that was almost 2 years ago. And so we need to get to the bottom of this. You cannot have White House officials using the president's signature without the president's knowledge. And that is the core of our investigation. We are going to go look for every piece of evidence going down through that view, and then we'll see where we end up after that. But as far as I'm concerned, whether it's Anita Dunn, White House counsels, White House chief of staff, the White House doctor, they need to be subpoenaed. They got to come in and answer questions.
Yep.
Haul them in, baby. Haul them all in. Let them plead the fifth. Anita Dunn, White House counsel, chief of staff, even the White House doctor, they're all getting subpoenaed. Donald's made it clear, crystal clear. Lying to Congress is a felony, and Pam Bondi's DOJ is ready to prosecute. Now, the scope of the scandal is staggering. Senator Grassley suggests that thousands of documents might have been signed by Autopen, including pardons for convicted murderers. Watch.
You've got an ear to the ground down there. What's your hunch at the moment?
My hunch at the moment is that they're going to come up with a lot of things that the president did not sign, maybe thousands of things that's signed by Autopen. And if that's the case, it would raise a lot of questions about the thoroughness when 2,500 people were pardoned, including people with a murder conviction. Those are serious charges. I don't know the answer, but I'm sure that Pam Bondi will get to the bottom of it.
Okay, but Senator, I apologize for the interruption there. It's my understanding it's not illegal to use an Autopen, is it?
I can't answer that question for you. Maybe I should be able to, but I can't, and I'm not going to comment on something I don't know for sure.
Okay, so what the president's talking about is 200 judges appointed to federal benches, the issuance of more than 1,000 presidential documents. There are questions about pardons, et cetera, and we'll see where this goes.
Yeah, we're going to see where this goes. Let's hope it goes right to prison. I mean, think about that. Murderers might have been pardoned by a machine while Biden was sleeping in his applesauce. I mean, how is that even legal? How is it even constitutional? Well, it's not. Now, Biden's team is scrambling. They released a pathetic statement claiming that Biden made all the decisions, but Peter Doocy, yeah, the deuce is loose at the White House, exposes how even Biden's inner circle is now turning on each other. Watch.
Trump White House about the possibility of Biden aides pulling the strings while he declined. So now President Biden's office tells us this. Let me be clear. I made the decisions during my presidency. I made the decisions about the pardons, executive orders, legislation, and proclamations. Any suggestion that I didn't is ridiculous and false. But the current president, Trump, ordered the DOJ with a new memo last night to investigate if former President Biden's aides abused the power of presidential signatures through the use of an Autopen to conceal Biden's cognitive decline and assert Article 2 authority. There are now 5 more senior staffers being asked to appear for interviews about the president's mental health. Michael Donnellan, Anita Dunn, Ron Klain, Bruce Reed, Steve Ricchetti. That is the inner circle of Biden world. The press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, not on that list, but she's got a new book about the broken Biden White House and her decision to leave the Democratic Party. Biden officials are telling Politico, everyone thinks this is a grift. Somebody else says she made a joke about being an independent last year, and now it's a book. All ideas are monetary, even the dumb ones. Here is her pitch.
Of misinformation, disinformation, the regressiveness of social policy, what we're seeing currently right now, what I have decided to do, and I really have thought long and hard about this, is to follow my own compass. And that's what I've done. And that's what this book does. It's about looking outside of boxes, not just always being in a partisan stance.
Yeah, so now we wait to see if there's going to be a chapter in there about the time that she told me there was no cover-up of President Biden's decline, or the time that she told me that questions about his acuity were a rabbit hole in this book about misinformation and disinformation.
The deuce is loose. Karine Jean-Pierre has a new book out, baby. Yeah, trying to clean her soul, just like Jake Tapper is. But souls that dark can never be cleansed, no matter how thick the book is. Michael Donlin, Anita Dunn, Ron Klain, Bruce Reed, Steve Ricchetti. These are the puppet masters who potentially ran America while Biden was sleeping. Yeah, passed out, applesauce drooling down his face, Jill Biden answering the phones. Yeah, remember, every one of those names should be burned into every American's memory. And yeah, Karine Jean-Pierre writing a tell-all book about the broken White House. It's laughable. It's absolutely laughable. I mean, she's now jumping ship, trying to cash in on all this chaos. Here's more.
Well, Peter, I don't know what to interpret this. My colleagues think that she defends Joe Biden in the book, but by the subtitle, Broken White House, it makes me think that she might break from Biden in the book.
I, believe it or not, some Biden folks were texting me yesterday, and they think that she is going to use this to settle scores against 2 people in particular. at the Biden White House who it has been widely reported she had beef with, which would be John Kirby, who she actively blocked from the podium, even though he was a favorite of President Biden, and Anita Dunn, who there were various stories last year that Anita Dunn was getting her jobs outside the White House and saying, please just take this job, you'll make more money and go. And it never happened. So it's possible that she says President Biden was a nice guy. It was his staff. But the problem is she remained in the job. So no matter what she writes, unless she says that there was somebody standing with a gun to her head right behind the little door that slides open and saying, you better say that he's okay, and that it's a conspiracy to ask any questions or suggest otherwise, or else, then I don't know how it's going to work saying that there's too much misinformation and disinformation, except
Karine Jean-Pierre was part of the cover-up. Okay, she was the mouthpiece for the entire administration. Okay? I mean, Ducey's like, yeah, unless she had a gun to her head and they were forcing her to say it, whatever. Doesn't matter. She went out there and said it. She could have just simply resigned and said, I'm not going to spew those lies. But no, even if she did have a gun to her head, she went out there anyway and said it. Now she's trying to cash in. This is so funny. I mean, this is so funny. You got Karine Jean-Pierre writing a book. Turd Tapper writing a book. Who's next? Who's the next one going to write a book about this? Trying to cleanse their filthy soul.
In her book.
I think your name will be in the book, too.
It's so true. It's insane.
My name, what's she going to say? Like, Peter Ducey was right?
By just asking questions.
No, she's not.
Right.
I'll bet you guys $1 each that that's not in there.
Right. But
you don't think your name will be in the book. You were the one who kept asking her so many questions that were challenging.
I'm sure my name will be in there about somebody who gave her a really hard time, but it seems like she is framing this book as she was the one person in the White House on either side of the podium who had an independent streak and was battling against all these. I mean, look, I didn't read it. I don't have an advanced copy. She didn't ask me for my insights. Right. But it's out in October.
Out in October. Let's hope she gets subpoenaed before then. She's going independent. Yeah, that's the name of the book. And she's settling scores against Kirby and Dunn. The rats are fleeing the sinking ship, and they're all pointing fingers at each other. And then we have James Comer dropping the hammer just last night. Every staffer has 24 hours to schedule their interview or face subpoenas. The entire House Oversight Committee is ready for war. Watch.
James Comer's with us. James Comer, let's start with you and say, okay, so you have been in touch with 4 people on his staff and his doctor. What is the status of that? And are you planning on calling a lot more people?
Yes, but to answer your first question, we've had communication for over a week now with their attorneys. We notified the 4 staffers and Dr. O'Connor 10 days ago. We've made rapid progress in 10 days. You have to give them an opportunity to come in voluntarily. You have to give them an opportunity to hire an attorney, or in other words, due process. They've hired attorneys. Our staff attorneys have been communicating with their attorneys. I'm very pleased to announce tonight that I expect a date to be announced very soon where every staffer will be coming forward and answering questions voluntarily by our committee. If for some reason they backtrack in the next 24 hours, then they will receive a subpoena, and they know that. With Dr. O'Connor, we have a call tomorrow with his attorneys. I expect the same from Dr. O'Connor. So this investigation's moving at a rapid pace, Sean, and you know that there's been a ton of information that's come out in the last 7 days from eyewitness accounts, the tell-all books, the Tapper book, people like Buttigieg, interviews that have surfaced where Joe Biden didn't know about executive orders he just signed. So this investigation, I think, is going to move at a pace that we're very pleased to see for a congressional investigation.
It's going to move at a pace that we're very pleased to see for a congressional investigation. Oh, I certainly hope so. I certainly hope so. I can't stand when these freaking committees drag on and on and on and on. Can we just get some freaking justice? How about that? These won't be friendly chats. They'll be transcribed interviews under oath. Republicans get an hour, Democrats get an hour, rotating until every question is answered. Lie once, do not pass go, do not collect $200, go directly to jail. And Comer revealed the investigation is moving faster than any in recent memory because even the left-wing media knows this was a massive cover-up. Watch.
Will these people be under oath for these transcriptions?
Yes, if they come in voluntarily, they will have to sit down for interviews. The way a congressional transcribed interview goes, the majority party, which of course is the Republicans, will have an hour to ask questions. Every member on the House Oversight Committee who wants to participate in that will participate in that, along with our attorneys, and the Democrats get an hour. We'll rotate back and forth until we ask all the questions. These are very substantive. If you lie to Congress, that's a felony. If they come in with a subpoena, then that'll be a deposition, which is a little more formal. But either way, if they say something that's not true, that's a felony, and they will be referred criminally to Pam Bondi at the Department of Justice. They know that. That's why they've hired, it looks to me like pretty big time attorneys to come in. And now I can say tonight on your show, Sean, that we're moving on to the next batch of people that we've identified that would have some responsibility of the Autopen. The amount of information that's coming in is very rapid. And with this investigation versus the last Biden influence peddling investigation, we haven't thus far faced a weaponized left-wing media because I think the left-wing media knows that this was a cover-up. And I think there's a little bit of curiosity now as to who was actually running the country.
Yeah, lots of questions. Lots of questions. I mean, we've been covering this. You've seen the coverage about even Morning Joe coming out. And Turd Tapper, of course, trying to cleanse his soul. Okay, the floodgates are open. Whistleblowers are coming forward. Books are exposing the truth. Interview clips are surfacing where Biden didn't even know about executive orders he supposedly signed. Specifically talking about when Mike Johnson was like, hey, do you remember signing the LNG export executive order? What are you talking about? Right? But it's not just about signatures. It's about how a shadow government operating without constitutional authority ran our country. Unelected bureaucrats wielding presidential power while the real president couldn't remember his own name. I mean, you saw the clip we played the other day. Peter Doocy brought it up to the press secretary, Caroline Leavitt, that the one document that appeared to be real was the one where he signed the pardon for his son. And Biden couldn't even get his last name signed correctly. I mean, the signature looks so sloppy. Even Peter Doocy said it looks like Biden didn't know how to spell his name. Every document signed by Autopen is potentially invalid. Every appointment, every executive order, every pardon, all of it could be unconstitutional. The legal challenges will last years. Let's just pray that this committee moves way faster than that. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe. It's time for my final thought. Now, the Autopen scandal reveals the ultimate betrayal of our American republic. We're not talking about some minor paperwork issue. We're talking about a silent coup where unelected radicals seized presidential power where the elected president was mentally absent. Every American should be absolutely furious. If you actually voted for Biden, okay, you voted for Biden, not Anita Dunn. You voted for a president, not a committee of anonymous staffers with a signature machine. The fact that they hid this from us while making decisions about war and spending and pardons is absolutely criminal. And my question is, where was Barack Obama during all of this? Who was he calling? Was he pulling the strings too? Oh, I want to know that answer. Now, here's what should terrify everybody. If they could pull this off with Biden, what else have they gotten away with? How many other decisions were made by shadow figures while pretending the president was in charge. Now, this is bigger than Watergate because at least Nixon was actually president when he committed those crimes. These people stole the presidency itself. So here's what I want you to weigh in. Weigh in the comments. I'm going to read these. And if you want to make sure I read it, use my name, Gary, and then drop your comment. Should everybody involved in the Autopen scandal face treason charges? Remember, Donald Trump even said, this is treason. So drop a yes or a no. Should they face treason charges? Let me know below. And if you're fired up and you want to support the truth, go to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com and grab a Next News Network hat and show the world that you stand with truth, because we are going to get to the bottom of this. Okay, so no more super chats. Is that how this is going to play out, guys? You got your dance. You got your dance. And now what? You're going to leave me high and dry? This is how you're going to do me tonight? Wow. You treat me like some dirty stripper in a slum club. You throw money in a jar, make Franchi dance. I get it. And you're all laughing. Okay, anyway. All right. That's how I have to present this, because there's no super chats. I thought we'd have something there. Anyway, the trivia answer is B, the 25th Amendment, presidential succession. This amendment specifically addresses presidential inability and the transfer of powers, making unauthorized use of presidential authority a direct violation. Well done. Oh, our Boyd. Look at you guys. The minute I start complaining and crying, you guys make me happy. Our Boyd dropping $5 in the jar. Pow. Pow. There it is. The Alex Jones was right jar. And our new AI tracking camera with preset positions. Tom B420. There it is, $5 right there in the jar. And look at that, Shay Watson. I just got here. Calm down, says Shay. Well, Shay, thank you. Here is the representation of your $20 going in the jar right now. Thank you very much. I will tell Angie she will be very, very happy to see this number tonight. We are now at $272. We're on a roll. Now let's get into our next trivia question, directly related to our next topic. Which federal law enforcement agency faced similar doxing and targeted violence from radical leftists during the 1970s, leading to bombings of their offices and assassination attempts on agents? Was it A, the FBI during the COINTELPRO operations? Was it B, the ATF during prohibition enforcement? C, the DEA during the war on drugs? Or D, the U.S. Marshals during desegregation? As always, drop your answer in the poll, in the chat, or in the comments below. And if you're watching on repeat, don't skip ahead. All right? Let's get into this next topic here. Federal agents wearing masks to protect their families from cartel assassination. Democrats in Congress threatening to expose their identities. Violent mobs attacking officers trying to rescue children from sex trafficking. This isn't happening in some failed narco state. This is happening right here in the United States of America. ICE agents are under siege, and the attacks aren't just coming from criminals anymore. They're coming from elected officials who want those heroes dead. And the footage we're about to show you proves we're witnessing a coordinated campaign to destroy immigration enforcement while protecting the most violent criminals on earth. And what you're about to see will make your blood boil. So keep on watching. While ICE agents risk their lives protecting America from cartel violence, you need to protect your body from the violence of aging. As we age, collagen production declines, leading to wrinkles, sagging skin, and painful joints. And by 40, collagen drops significantly and continues declining yearly. Collagen makes up a third of your skin's protein, giving it strength and structure. That's why replenishing collagen is essential for maintaining youthful appearance and healthy joints. That's why I use Ageless Multi-Collagen, and I'm obsessed with its results. 5 key collagen types from 4 premium sources, hydrolyzed into easy-absorbing peptides, no clumping, odor, or gross taste, just smooth blending into coffee or smoothies, no GMOs, RFK Jr. loves it, no artificial ingredients, no gluten or antibiotics or hormones, clean, powerful collagen support. Every order also helps feed hungry children through NoKidHungry.org. So, visit healthwithgary.com today for 51% off, free shipping, 60-day guarantee, and lifetime VIP coaching. Go to healthwithgary.com. Your skin will thank you. All right. What you're about to witness is a complete breakdown of law and order, endorsed by Democrat leadership. House Minority Leader Hakeem Jeffries just declared war on every ICE agent who is protecting America. You ready for this? Listen to his threat. And yes, it is absolutely a threat. Watch.
Every single ICE agent who's engaged in this aggressive overreach and are trying to hide their identities from the American people will be unsuccessful in doing that. This is America. This is not the Soviet Union. We're not behind the Iron Curtain. This is not the 1930s. And every single one of them, no matter what it takes, no matter how long it takes, will of course be identified.
Wow. He's promising to identify every single ICE agent to the public. I mean, yes, they're public servants. But he's promising that they will be identified. That means exposing them to the cartels, to MS-13, radical leftists, Antifa, Tren de Aragua. This is not accountability. It's a death sentence for these heroes and their families. But it gets worse. The Five's Jessica Tarlov just revealed what Democrats really think about our immigration enforcement. And her reasoning for why agents wear masks will infuriate you. Watch.
I should say it's a safety issue. I did about that specific issue there, but when you look at the statistics of who they're actually arresting, you know that they're wearing masks because they're not making good on the promises that they made to the American people of arresting criminals. 70% of the people.
They're wearing masks because they're embarrassed? Is that what you're saying, Jessica?
Yeah, I do think
really? How do you know that? How do you know that?
Well, I would be, if I was the ICE
reading,
agent,
and it's absurd. It's mind reading, and it's absurd.
Well, they should be ashamed of what they're doing. If you are the ICE agent that's picking up a 17-year-old kid on the way to volleyball practice who's been here since he was 5 in Massachusetts, or there was a Missouri woman who's been here for 20 years, mother of 3, going to a routine check-in that's being arrested, and you know what they're doing? They're trying to satisfy Stephen Miller. The conservative Washington Examiner, a conservative paper, has this quote out of a private meeting where Stephen Miller is screaming at agents, what do you mean you're going after criminals? Why aren't you at Home Depot? Why aren't you at 7-Eleven? They want to pick up everybody who is here illegally, which is not what he campaigned on. He said we're going to get the bad hombres and the criminals out of here. So, yes, I think if you are showing up to detain a 17-year-old, that you should be wearing a mask and you should be embarrassed of what you're doing.
Well, wow. I don't think that's why they wear a mask.
And they should be going to 7-Eleven. They should be going near the Home Depots where they all hang out looking for jobs. Yeah. She said they should be ashamed about agents. She said that about agents arresting criminals. They should be ashamed for arresting criminals. Does that logic compute? She thinks that they wear masks out of embarrassment, not because violent gangs want them dead. This is the sick mentality that we're fighting. Now, the real numbers, they do tell a different story. Fox News just revealed that attacks on ICE agents are up a staggering 413%. Acting ICE Director Todd Lyons explains the brutal reality that these American heroes face. Watch.
To 2025, DHS says that attacks against ICE agents are up 413%. And we just heard from the acting ICE Director Todd Lyons on why these agents are now wearing masks in some of these operations. Listen here.
We ran an operation where ICE officers were doxxed. So let's just say that again. People are out there taking photos of the names, their faces, and posting them online with death threats to their family and themselves. So I'm sorry if people are offended by them wearing masks, but I'm not going to let my officers and agents go out there and put their lives on the line and their family on the line.
I know that, Tom Homan has talked in the past about having to pay a private security detail to defend himself as, he was getting death threats. But these rank and file agents don't have those kinds of resources. What do you make of the House Minority Leader's comments about naming anyone that they think has acted inappropriately?
I think it's the height of irresponsibility for the leader to engage in such a behavior. I mean, the simple fact is that these are men and women who are doing their jobs. Their jobs is they signed up for, that they agreed to take on risk associated with it. These are very hard jobs. They're threatening enough elements of this as it is when it comes to arresting so many of these individuals who are here illegally and who have engaged in all manner of criminal acts or accused of such. And so when they go and they actually arrest them, they're doing the thing that they're supposed to be doing and they're paid to do by the American people. When he says that he's going to dox these agents, he puts a target on every one of their backs. And engaging in that kind of behavior should be unacceptable no matter the administration. I don't care if it's Democrat or Republican. We shouldn't be engaged in this type of behavior when it comes to agents who are just trying to do their job, enforce the law, and bring these criminals to justice. And look, they are going to have to adjudicate these cases in court. They're going to have to fight on this, and it's fine for Leader Jeffries to criticize the administration for what he thinks is overreach, but doxing these agents is horrible and morally.
Agents are being doxed with death threats to their families. They don't have private security like Tom Homan does. They're regular Americans doing an impossible job while Democrats paint targets on their backs. Now, watch what happened in Minneapolis when false rumors of an ICE raid sparked complete chaos. The truth? It was actually a federal operation to save children from sex trafficking. Watch.
The information that came out on social media from elected officials was highly irresponsible. Instead of getting accurate information, being impulsive and putting out things that could potentially incite riots is senseless.
Hennepin County Sheriff DeWanna Witt stood alongside Mayor Jacob Fry and Minneapolis Police Chief Brian O'Hara Wednesday to address what exactly happened.
What is important for people to know, yesterday's incident was one of 8 search warrants for a transnational criminal organization.
Tuesday's raid was part of a criminal investigation involving drug and human trafficking, not an immigration enforcement operation, according to authorities. While the raid was being conducted, Minneapolis City Council member Jason Chavez tweeted without providing any context that MPD was assisting by closing off the area and that ICE was present. Local and federal authorities say yes, ICE was there, but as part of the Homeland Security Task Force, not to deport individuals. MPD was called in an hour after the raid began for crowd control as the situation escalated.
We have a sworn duty to keep the people of this community safe. That doesn't go through a political filter.
8 search warrants targeting human trafficking. And what did Democrats do? They send violent mobs to attack the officers. Local politicians spread lies that endangered children's lives. The footage from the streets is even more disturbing. Watch these animals attacking federal agents trying to rescue trafficking victims. Here's more.
Just when you thought they hit rock bottom, liberals dig even deeper. Activists ambushed an ICE raid in Minneapolis, tampon territory. Only problem? Wasn't an ICE raid. It was a drug bust. These protesters saw the cops going into a taco joint and just assumed they were for migrants. Kind of racist. The restaurant had a "Make Tacos, Not Walls" sign out front. We like tacos, but walls work too. The feds were actually there on a drug and money laundering case, but that didn't stop the liberal fiesta.
The whole thing was about saving children from sex slavery. But the mob didn't care. They just wanted to attack law enforcement. You want to see some raw footage? Well, we've got it. Raw footage of the coordinated assault on our federal agents. This is what Democrat rhetoric creates. Pure anarchy in our streets. Watch.
A group right here trying to block the police from leaving once again. They threw out a bunch of garbages. Now people are trying to create a line out here to stop ICE and FBI.
That's your city.
So get the fuck out! Fuck you! No, fuck you! Fuck you!
Move on right now! Back up! Back up right now!
So these people are putting up a pretty strong wall here. They're not letting people. The police are obviously retaliating. People are pushing back at the police, showing no respect towards the police. People are upset because the ICE did come through here and they did take some illegal immigrants out of here, of the city.
This is how the sheriff works. This is how this guy works. You don't know the city, fucking dumb fucker. Push it through.
Go back to Oak River, you pieces of shit.
Bye, Mike. Slide back.
Look, you had this guy taunting and messing with the police. He's gotten thrown a few times by the police. And he's keeping on going back to him, too. This guy right here just got pushed by the police. After he's pushing at them, police threw him down, and he keeps going after them.
Go back to Elk River. That's what they screamed at officers saving children. They threw garbage, formed human walls, and physically assaulted agents while Democrats cheered them on. The intensity of the attack captured in this final clip. Watch how organized this leftist mob was in preventing law enforcement from doing their jobs. Watch.
What you're about to watch is a suspected ICE raid, human trafficking ring raid, drug bust here on the streets of Minneapolis. And this is footage like never seen before and live, raw footage from the streets of Minneapolis.
Our street! Whole street! Whole street! Ours! Yours and mine! That's what I said! Ours! Hey, let him do! I'm a veteran, I love you guys!
Right here, you have the police right behind me, and you have the FBI, and you have a huge group, then you have another group of law enforcement behind us, and then you have everybody chanting, "Our streets."
Our streets!
What just happened?
They just stole people. They just fucking kidnapped people and they drove away. They gave no warrants, they gave no badge numbers, they gave no names. They said, I don't have a name when we asked. And then they fucking threw someone on the ground and took him too. And then, in the midst of all that, they shot tear gas with us. We are in the worst AQI that I've seen in my lifetime in this city. And you know who the main contributor to climate change is? The fucking American military-industrial complex. And what do? They come out here, they have the audacity to kidnap our neighbors and then to shoot us with tear gas when we decline to consent. Fuck them!
Yo, don't fucking touch her. Coming in behind
Alright, we have people here pushing the cops right here. And now they took them.
Right now. That's your city.
They just kidnap people. That's what they're calling the rescue of trafficking victims. These radicals would rather see children enslaved than let ICE do their jobs. Meanwhile, U.S. Marshals and attorney Alina Habba, they're showing what real law enforcement looks like. Operation Apex Hammer is taking down the worst of the worst. Watch.
We saw violent offenders just walking around the streets of New Jersey, and U.S. Attorney Alina Habba says, listen, this is not going to happen anymore in my home state. So she teamed up with U.S. Marshals who were going after the worst of the worst as they knocked on those doors and said, you can run, but you can't hide.
Police department with a warrant. Open the doors.
An early morning raid in Newark, New Jersey. This team out serving a warrant for a suspected Tren de Aragua gang member, wanted for a string of armed robberies on New York City subways.
Come out now!
And outside that door, interim U.S. Attorney for New Jersey, Alina Habba.
We're doing multiple cases at once to make sure that we clean up as quickly as possible.
Habba and her team waiting for that main target to surrender, but he's not home. Instead, these migrants who the feds say are all in the country illegally finally come out. Where are we going now?
Now we're going to go to another Newark location to get a female who shot her partner, also gang affiliation.
This New Jersey woman arrested after investigators say she recently shot at least 2 people. A short time later, another bust in the Garden State. This guy wanted for aggravated assault nearly got away on the fire escape. What's your message to those people who think they're going to hide out from your team here in the streets of New Jersey?
Well, you can run, but you cannot hide. And I think that the message is loud and clear.
And this is a month-long operation in the state of New Jersey, leading to more than 40 arrests, Jackie, and counting. It's not going to wrap up anytime soon. It's called Operation Apex Hammer. We'll keep an eye on it, Jackie.
We will.
Tren de Aragua gang members, armed robbers, violent criminals, all arrested while Democrats try to protect them. Now this is two-tier justice system in action. The pattern is clear. Democrats demonize ICE agents as villains while protecting actual criminals. They spread lies about immigration enforcement while children suffer in trafficking rings. They send violent mobs to attack federal officers while gang members roam free. Every ICE agent puts their life on the line daily. They're not wearing masks because they're ashamed. They're wearing them because Democrat politicians have made them targets for assassination. When elected officials call for doxing law enforcement, they're not fighting for justice. They're enabling cartel terrorism on American soil. Every agent attacked, every operation disrupted, every child left in trafficking, that blood is on Democrat hands. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe, buckle up, because my final thought is right now. This is what the collapse of civilization looks like. When lawmakers side with cartels over cops, when saving children from sex slavery gets you attacked by mobs, when wearing a badge makes you a target for assassination, we're not in America anymore. We're in a failed state. Hakeem Jeffries threatening to dox ICE agents isn't political opposition. It's aiding and abetting terrorism. Every Democrat who spreads lies about immigration enforcement has blood on their hands. They'd rather see American agents dead than illegal criminals deported. They'd rather protect sex traffickers than let ICE protect children. This isn't hyperbole. We just watched them do it in Minneapolis. The same politicians screaming about January 6th are literally organizing violent mobs to attack federal agents. Where's their outrage now? Where are the hearings? Where are the prosecutions? So here's my question. Should threatening to dox federal agents be charged as terrorism? Simple yes or no. Down in the comments. And then support the Next News Network. Support our work. Go to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. These heroes need us to have their backs because Democrats want them dead. Holy cow, man. All right. Okay, I'm getting a weird thing here on my camera controller. I don't know. It looks like everything's fine. Yeah. Let me see here. Okay. All right, looks like we got some super chats. What's up, super chat fam? What do you got for me? Duty to Rebel, dropping $2. Yeah, baby. $2. It goes right there. Reconnecting. You gotta love technology. It works when it wants to. Brian, can you hit P2? 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 P2. Right there. Okay. And then we've also got from Deplorable Diva Haynes. I love my N3 family. N3 family. Dropping money in the jar. N3 family. All right, sorry. And then we got Mary B. Crabtree. Thank you for an awesome channel. What's up, $5? Honest Abe, right there for you. Thank you, Mary. Keep that jar nice and full. And then there's another one, looks like also has come through from Elaine. Elaine Richardson, illegals that don't integrate, that are supported by Democrats and radicals will destroy our country. Thank you for contributing to the conversation and to the Alex Jones was right jar. There it is. There it is. Okay. I think we got it all. All right. All right, you guys, now we got that. And now we're going to get this. Well, we're at $291 tonight. We are $9 shy of $300. Remarkable. Remarkable. Okay, where are we at? The answer, you guys said it was C, the DEA, war on drugs. Brian, they got it wrong. Man, I had so much faith in you guys tonight. At least you got one of them right. But you have some more opportunities coming forward. Answer was A, the FBI during COINTELPRO operations when radical leftist groups like the Weather Underground bombed FBI offices and targeted agents for assassination, showing how history repeats itself. All right, moving in to the last question of the night. Here it is. Which U.S. senator's aggressive war advocacy and foreign interventions in the early 1900s earned him the nickname the Little Giant of Imperialism, similar to how Lindsey Graham pushes for endless wars today? Was it A, Henry Cabot Lodge, B, Albert J. Beveridge, C, William Borah, or D, Robert La Follette? Yeah, this is a tough one. I don't think I even know any of those names, but I should. And I'm actually anxious to find out what the answer is. Don't Google it, guys, please. The poll question will be up shortly. You can answer it, A, B, C, or D. You can also weigh in and debate each other. Oh, debate each other in the chat room, or just drop a comment. We're going to move to our final segment of the night. And speaking of this, I should bring this to your attention because the next topic is about NATO. Today, I formally submitted my request to attend the NATO summit as part of the White House press delegation. Think about that. Angie and me going to the NATO summit. What will happen there? You guys want to see us go? I think you do. It will be historic. An opportunity for true, independent, freedom-based journalists to go right where they want to start World War III. And maybe we can ask some questions to prevent it, or at least confront the people in the official delegation. Think about the magnitude of what we will be able to accomplish by going there. I've never been to Europe, and I mean, just going to a foreign country, no one speaks the language. I mean, I've been to Mexico like maybe twice. So it will be super exciting. So I've already formally submitted. I've got to get my passport updated. And then we got to get that squared away. We've already registered. So I got to get Angie registered as well. And then it'll be like the NATO summit is June 24th, 25th, and 26th. So press registration is on the 23rd. It's like a 10 or 11 hour flight or something crazy. So I think we got to leave like the night of the 22nd and then fly over and then check in. Yeah, it's going to be wild. It's going to be wild. So we're trying to figure out how we can get I was talking to my production team, talking with Todd, talking with Brian, basically treating this as if I was going back to the White House. Instead, I would be at The Hague. I would be like right there, the NATO summit, doing live news hits. So we're going to try and figure out if we can do that, and then maybe have somebody run the show here doing the raw feed while I'm gone, and then they would be presenting my reports that we'd be posting on X. So, okay, since we're here and we haven't got to the next topic yet, I just wanted to share that with you because that's what I was working on earlier today. We got Chrono dropping $10, a Shiba dog dressed in traditional outfit, waving Japanese fans. Yeah, baby. There's $10 right there. This jar's getting fat tonight. Another $5 from Michelle. Disabled, tired, and angry that the Dems are getting away with all this and no accountability. Well, have some faith, Michelle, because there's a reason we do this show. We do this show because we want to bring accountability. We raise awareness for what these people are doing so that there can be accountability. That is the function of our reporting. That is the function of real journalism, is holding the powerful accountable and shining a light in the areas that they don't want lit up. So this $5 that you just gave goes right to that cause. Remember that. Thank you. Okay. All right, here we go. 5,000 to 6,000 young soldiers are dying every single week in Ukraine. Let that number sink in. That's an entire small American town wiped out monthly. And while President Trump works desperately for peace, spending hours on the phone with Putin and world leaders, there's a sinister plot unfolding. NATO doesn't just want World War III, they want Trump to start it. They want his name on the nuclear holocaust. They want MAGA buried under mushroom clouds. And the evidence that we've uncovered shows Lindsey Graham, Zelensky, and the military-industrial complex are setting the ultimate trap. And they are betting everything that Trump will take the bait. So keep watching. And while warmongers push us towards World War III, your children deserve the truth about freedom, liberty, and peace. That's why the Tuttle twins created the most effective liberty-first content for kids. Their monthly magazine teaches children about economics and liberty and responsibility through comics, activities, and real-world lessons. Our family happily subscribes. The Tuttle twins has a special place in our home and a special place in my heart. Remember, my friends, freedom is never more than one generation from extinction. So don't let your children be indoctrinated by those who profit from endless wars. The Tuttle Twins magazine shows them a better way, teaching critical thinking, not blind obedience. And right now, you can subscribe. Subscribe your kids, your grandkids, your nephews, your nieces. Give them a gift. It's only $56 a year. Think about that. Think about that gift every month showing up in their mailbox. opening up their minds to what real liberty is. That's a gift that will bear fruit forever. You're planting seeds. Go to totaltwins.com/next. Okay, that's less than $5 a month to arm your kids or nieces, nephews, grandkids with the truth. Give them the tools to question why politicians send young people to die while getting rich. Visit totaltwins.com/next and teach them to think for themselves. Link in the description. Now, President Trump just revealed the horrifying truth about Ukraine in the Oval Office. While hosting the German chancellor, he laid out the catastrophic human cost that the media refuses to report. Listen to these staggering numbers.
It's an honor to have you. As you know, the chancellor just won a great election, very, very strong election. Very respected man. I can tell you, we've been on the phone many times talking about some of the problems of the world outside of Germany. And it's very sad what's going on. We both feel that way. What's going on with Russia, Ukraine, and other things we talk about, but Russia, Ukraine in particular. I'd like to see it end, and maybe it'll end, but we get some news there'll be some fighting. Something happened a couple of days ago, and now they do a return, and here it goes. It's not good. He's unhappy about it. I'm unhappy about it. But I think eventually we're going to be successful in stopping the bloodshed. It's pure bloodshed. 5,000-6,000 young soldiers a week are being killed. You know that those numbers.
Yeah, we know the numbers.
They're staggering. They're staggering numbers. But Chancellor, I just want to congratulate you, and I want to welcome you to the Oval Office.
Thank you.
It's an Oval Office that's in very good shape. We like fixing things up and having them tippy-top like they have in Germany. They do that in Germany very much, and we do it here. We're having a very good run. I also had a great election, a great win, won everything. Won the popular vote, all 7 swing states, which is a big deal. It's pretty unusual to do that. And we have a great mandate from the people, and part of our mandate is we're going to have a great relationship with your country. So I just want to thank you very much for being here, and if you'd like to say a few words.
Absolutely.
Now he brings up the horrifying truth, and then he says, I won big. Only Trump can do that. But the numbers, right? 5,000 to 6,000 soldiers dying every week. That's not a war. That's a meat grinder. And Trump is trying to stop it while others want to escalate into nuclear conflict. But here's the trap being set. My friend Chanel Rion just exposed their entire scheme. NATO doesn't want World War III. They want Trump to start World War III. Let's watch her brilliant analysis together.
If Russia were planning World War III, they would not have shown up to the talks in Istanbul. They would not have engaged for another 3 hours behind the scenes before the meeting. But they did. As for the alarm around NATO trying to start World War III, I've long advocated that we abandon NATO altogether and let them fend for themselves. But think about it. If they start World War III, they stand to lose immediately. Rather, I have a different take. NATO doesn't want World War III. They want Trump to start World War III. There's a key difference there. So they've set the bait. They're using Zelensky, the actor, who knows that if this war ends, his money faucet is done, his celebrity dies. But here's where the peace talks need to go at this point. Sources on the ground in Moscow tell me this: the outlines of a final peace agreement are very straightforward and obvious at this point. Armed neutrality for Ukraine. Denazification, as in the Ukrainian government needs to stop glorifying people who worship the Third Reich. Minimal protections for the Russian language and the Orthodox Church. And no Western troops in Ukraine. These are the basic outlines of the agreement that would get Russia to actually put down their weapons. Unfortunately, there are a few roadblocks, and it isn't even Zelensky. The media, first, refuses to outline that it really is this simple. Then you have the globalist warmongers, flaming war hawk, Senator Lindsey Graham, the UK's bumbling Keir Starmer, France's slap-happy Macron, and ever-Germanic Merz. These figures will be front and center trying to stop any glimmers of peace in the region. Either they're too financially invested in war, they're hell-bent on making money in a post-Putin Russia, or there are too many skeletons hiding in Lindsey Graham's closet. Whatever the case is, they are setting the bait and hoping desperately that Trump takes it. They are praying that Trump goes to war and starts the world war they secretly hope to blame on him. If Trump takes the bait, they get rid of America first forever. The legacy of Trump will at last be done. It will burn in the smoke and tarnish of war, and they can all resume their uniparty life they so desperately miss. Therein lies their deviance. May they fall miserably in the shadow of the peacemakers. All we have to do is stay the course, and this can all be over by fall.
They're praying that Trump takes the bait so they can destroy the America First movement forever. Lindsey Graham, Keir Starmer, Macron, and the German establishment all setting the trap for nuclear war they can blame on Trump. Steve Bannon went even further, calling out how every power player from Russia to Wall Street is calling Trump's bluff. This convergence of crises is the ultimate test. Watch.
I've said many times that June 15th, which we're approaching, 11 days away, is the 10th anniversary of President Trump coming down the golden escalator. And that, all 10 years, everything you've been through in supporting President Trump, all the MAGA movement, everything President Trump's been through, all the turmoil, all the highs and all the very deep lows and the amazing comeback, it's all a preamble to what's happening now. The convergence of these crises. And let me be blunt. From the Eurasian landmass deep in Russia, in Ukraine, to the mullahs in Tehran, to the political class on Capitol Hill, the lords of easy money on Wall Street, the tech oligarchs, the Beijing and the Chinese Communist Party, which he's got a call with Xi on Friday after Merz comes here with the Germans tomorrow. They're calling bluffs. So now it's time. Do we got the cards? Do we not have the cards? And how do we play the cards? And how we're going to have President Trump's back.
10 years after coming down that golden escalator, everything has led to this moment. Will Trump take the warmonger bait, or will he deliver peace? The deep state is betting that he will crack. And speaking of warmongers, watch now as Bannon exposes how Lindsey Graham is actively sabotaging Trump's peace efforts by stirring the pot in Ukraine without authorization. Watch.
People are not awake of what is happening throughout the world and how we're being sucked in, and supposedly by somebody we support like Zelensky, to know that he never gave the White House a heads up. He never asked permission to do this. He would do really a brilliant but a deep strike into part of their nuclear, essentially taking out our B-52s, which these old Russian planes are. It's outrageous. And Lindsey Graham all weekends over there stirring the pot. We can't have people over there telling the Ukrainians that we're going to back more. What we're trying to do is calm this down. What President Trump is trying to say is, look, let's get to a ceasefire. Let's put our weapons down. Let's talk peace and prosperity. We don't support the economic deal, but President Trump is saying he needs it as a central part of a peace plan. But we can't have Lindsey Graham, and particularly Zelensky, leading us into a third world war with a deep strike into Russia. And Putin came back today and said, hey, we're going to get to the bottom of this. And we're going to see who's accountable in Ukraine and beyond. And that was a message to the United States.
Now, Graham's over there promising more weapons while Trump tries to negotiate peace. He is literally undermining the president's constitutional authority over foreign policy. You know what they used to call that? Treason. And now we know why Graham is so desperate to keep this war going. Former CIA officer Larry Johnson, he just dropped a nuclear allegation about Graham's finances. Watch.
And let me say something about Senator Graham. There will be news coming out in the next couple of months about how he has profited financially off of money that came out of Ukraine, laundered through Latvia, and made its way into his bank account. And we're talking significant amounts of money. Department of Justice is looking at it.
All right, those are serious allegations leveled by former CIA officer Larry Johnson. We shall see.
We shall see. The Ukrainian money laundered through Latvia into Graham's accounts. That's what he's alleging. The Department of Justice apparently investigating. No wonder he wants endless war. He's getting paid for every dead soldier. But while Graham counts his blood money, look what's really happening on the battlefield. Russian drones caught Ukrainian forces executing their own deserters. Now, we can't play this clip, Brian, because of what it's just too graphic. It's just too graphic. We can't play this. We've gotten in trouble for this stuff before. But what the clip shows is they're shooting their own soldiers who try to flee. This is the democracy that we're funding. This is what Graham wants to continue forever. Trump understands the human cost, though. Watch him in the Oval Office today, explaining his strategy for peace, using a brilliant analogy about letting fighters exhaust themselves before pulling them apart. Watch.
When I see the moment when we're not going to make a deal, when this thing won't stop,
Is there a deadline?
if that moment, yeah, it's in my brain, the deadline. When I see the moment where it's not going to stop, and I'm sure you're going to do the same thing, will be very, very, very tough. And it could be on both countries, to be honest. You know, it takes two to tango. But we're going to be very tough. Whether it's Russia or anybody else, we're going to be very tough. That's a bloodbath that's going on over there. And when I see the moment where I say, well, they're going to just keep fighting. You know, I gave the analogy yesterday when I spoke to President Putin. I had a 2-hour and 15-minute call with him. Sometimes, and this is me speaking maybe in a negative sense, but sometimes you see two young children fighting like crazy. They hate each other and they're fighting in a park. And you try and pull them apart. They don't want to be pulled. Sometimes you're better off letting them fight for a while and then pulling them apart. And I gave that analogy to Putin yesterday. I said, President, maybe you're going to have to keep fighting and suffering a lot because both sides are suffering before you pull them apart, before they're able to be pulled apart. But it's a pretty known analogy. You have two kids, they fight. Sometimes you let them fight for a little while. You see it in hockey. You see it in sports. The referees let them go for a couple of seconds. Let them go for a little while before you pull them apart. And maybe, and I said it, and maybe that's a negative because we're saying go, but a lot of bad blood. There's some bad blood between the two. I have to deal with it, and the chancellor has to deal with it. It's incredible. The level of, there's a great hatred between those two men, but between the warring parties. Great hatred.
Bad blood between the warring parties. That's what Trump is dealing with. But he knows sometimes you have to let them realize the futility before they accept peace. Now, before we get to this next clip, I want to bring up something very important. Okay, take a look at this. This was posted 3 days ago by Slavic Free Spirit. When I heard Zelensky launched the largest drone attacks in history against Russia's nuclear deterrent, I immediately looked to see where Senator Graham was. Not shockingly, he's in Kyiv. Then I saw his hotel bill, $800,000 to stay at the Hilton in Kyiv. This war can't end soon enough. And he posted a picture from a moose on X. Taxpayers spent $800,000 a month on hotels in Ukraine for Senator Graham and Blumenthal's junket. U.S. taxpayers are paying the Kyiv Hilton $814,806 for rooms for Graham and Blumenthal and their entourage. The total cost of the trip is likely over $3 million. Graham has made 8 to 9 similar trips to Ukraine, costing taxpayers more than $25 million. The question is why? Now, as this story was developing, and it's been developing for quite some time, if you'll recall this video I'm going to show you, it really takes on new meaning. And I posted this 5 days ago because it came to my attention. So this video takes on a whole new meaning when you look at it from the perspective that everyone in that room was there to make sure the money Ukraine got ended up back in their pockets. Now, this is the video that was taken when Zelensky met with the Senate leaders right before he was humiliated out of the White House, kicked out of the White House. But as the video, you watch it, why are they having a meeting there? Donald Trump's trying to secure peace. But they're trying to secure a piece of the pie right back into their wallets. So again, I tell you to watch this video from the perspective that they're just making sure the cash keeps flowing. Now, the President Trump, he also revealed some more wins during the German Chancellor's visit today. Look at what's happening with military recruitment under Trump's leadership. Watch.
We just hit the highest number in the history of our country, we think, but very close, but the highest in the history of our country, recruitment, joining the Army, Navy, Air Force, Marines, Coast Guard, police forces all over the country.
What did you do for that? What was the reason?
Spirit. They love our country again, you know? You're going to do the same thing. Spirit. We have great spirit is back in our country, and it's very simple. You know, it was only, Susie, 6 months ago, right, that you got reports, you're the one that released them, that you couldn't get anybody to join the military, and now we're stocked. Every service now is packed, and we have waiting lists of people trying to get in, as good as we've ever had in the history of our country. So that's an honor. That's a great honor.
Waiting lists. Because people want to serve under this commander-in-chief. Record recruitment because Americans love their country again. Spirit is back. That's what winning looks like. Young Americans wanting to serve, but not die in foreign wars. Trump's also managing China brilliantly. His trade deal discussions with Xi show how real diplomacy works, not through war, but through negotiation. Watch.
We had a very good talk, and we've straightened out any complexity. It's very complex stuff, and we straightened it out. The agreement was we're going to have Scott and Howard and Jameson will be going and meeting with their top people and continue it forward. But no, I think we have everything. I think we're in very good shape with China and the trade deal. We have a deal with China, as you know, but we were straightening out some of the points, having to do mostly with rare earth, magnets, and some other things.
So those reduced trade tariff rates, they remain in effect?
Yeah, we have the deal. I mean, we've had a deal. We announced the deal, and we'll be, I guess you could say, I wouldn't even say finalizing it up, Scott. I would say we have a deal, and we're going to just make sure that everybody understands what the deal is. Okay? We had a really good conversation. By the way, he invited me to China, and I invited him here. We both accepted. So I'll be going there with the First Lady at a certain point, and he'll be coming here, hopefully, with the First Lady of China.
So both leaders accepted invitations to visit each other's countries. That's how you prevent World War III, through strength and dialogue, not endless proxy wars. And while negotiating peace, Trump is keeping America safe. Did you hear about this? Yeah, the media is already freaking out. Travel bans! Travel bans! Racist! Xenophobe! Right? He's setting up new travel restrictions targeting actual threats, while at the same time maintaining relationships with allies. Watch.
On your new travel ban, why now? And if the Boulder attack was part of your reasoning, why not include Egypt on that list where the suspect is from?
Well, because Egypt has been a country that we deal with very closely. They have things under control. The countries that we have don't have things under control. And why now? I can say that it can't come soon enough, frankly. We want to keep bad people out of our country. The Biden administration allowed some horrendous people, and we're getting them out one by one, and we're not stopping until we get them out. We have thousands of murderers. I even hate to say this in front of the Chancellor. Of course, you have a little problem, too, with some of the people that were allowed into your country. It's not your fault. It's not your fault. It shouldn't have happened. I told her it shouldn't have happened, what she did. But you have your own difficulty with that, and we do, and we're moving them out, and we're moving them out very strongly. But it can't come fast enough. We want to get them out. We want to get them out now. We don't want to have other bad people coming into our country. But using the word bad, I'm being nice. Okay.
Using the word bad, I'm being nice. Countries that can't control terrorism get banned. Plain and simple. Countries that cooperate stay partners. Common sense foreign policy returning to Washington. So the peace terms from Russia are simple. armed neutrality for Ukraine, no NATO expansion, respect for Russian language and Orthodox faith, no Western troops, that's it. Any leader who rejects these reasonable terms wants war, not peace. Zelensky's deep strike into Russia without telling the White House proves he's trying to drag us into nuclear conflict. He's an actor playing a role. And when peace comes, his show gets canceled. If you got value from this report, tap subscribe because it's time for my final thought. So this is the moment, the dangerous moment in human history. Not because of Russia or China, but because of traitors in our own government trying to start World War III to destroy Donald Trump. Think about how sick that is. They'd rather see nuclear mushroom clouds over American cities than let Trump succeed as a peacemaker. Lindsey Graham taking Ukrainian bribes while American soldiers prepare to die. NATO setting traps while Trump negotiates peace. Zelensky launching unauthorized strikes to trigger Article 5. They're not just playing with fire, they are playing with the end of civilization. And for what? To protect their war profits? And destroy the America First movement? Every parent watching needs to understand that these psychopaths will send your children to die in nuclear war just to score political points against Trump. So here's my question. Should Lindsey Graham be investigated for treason over his Ukrainian money? Simple yes or no. Answer below. And then you can gear up and support our network by going to shop.nextnewsnetwork.com because we're exposing these warmongers before they destroy us all. Peace through strength, not endless war. Okay, so we look like we got a 5 spot into the jar of justice, not the frog of justice, the jar of justice from Tom B420, and he says, "You rock, N3 for life." There you go. Here's Tom B420's fresh, crisp $5 bill. We're now at $316. Yeah, baby. Let's roll. Okay, so the answer, you guys said A, Henry Cabot Lodge. Brian, they got it wrong. I would have got it wrong, too. The only way I know the answer is by looking at the card. The answer was B, Albert J. Beveridge, who pushed for American empire and endless foreign interventions, proving that some politicians never change their warmongering ways. I want to do a throwback real quick, not necessarily a throwback, but a throwback to the first topic of the evening. Angie sent me a message while we were doing this. I was doing one of the segments. She says, you got to see Simona Papadopoulos' video that she just posted. And I think I've got it here. She's like, how's everything going? You got to get Simona on. You got to play this clip. So I haven't seen this. This is Simona's take on the whole kerfluffle between Elon and Trump. Again, I don't know what her take is, but if you don't know who she is the wife of George Papadopoulos, who was one of the deep state targets. And George and her have been going all over the world telling their story, fascinating story of how they got swept up in that whole Russiagate thing. But she's Italian, so she's got some deep insight, especially, the whole Russiagate thing and all the stuff that was going on in Italy at the time. Anyway, let's hear her take on this Elon and Trump kerfluffle.
Simona from Los Angeles. This is absolutely wild day for United States of America, for the Republican Party and the MAGA movement overall. we've seen a pretty strong fallout between two giants of our economy and power, Elon Musk and Donald Trump. Elon stepped out of the Trump administration only a few days ago, alleging differences in policies he couldn't possibly keep in aligning with. He made the point that the spending cut was prioritizing military defense over technology and AI, and this was clashing with his views for the United States and for America, very simplifying. But here we go this morning, a bunch of posts on X by Elon Musk, the first one accusing Trump of being deeply ungrateful after he had contributed significantly to his re-election in 2024. Is that real? Is that not real? Yes, I believe Elon Musk definitely contributed to Trump re-election 2024. But wait a minute, is that a reason why Trump should have blindly follow his policy advice? You know, in politics, disagreement is not betrayal. We can absolutely bring our conversation on the diplomacy level or on the personal consideration about gratitude. We can keep it out of the social media. Now, am I a teacher about keeping things out of the social media? Absolutely not. But I believe at a certain level, we should be absolutely mindful of the image we project, not only to the United States, but to the world. I'm talking as an Italian journalist at this point. So we had to this incredible situation, sun is hitting in Los Angeles, where Elon Musk interprets this, whatever he has done for Donald Trump election, as an expectation from Donald Trump to follow his policies, which is wrong. And I'm saying it again, it's wrong. In politics, it's not ruled by gratitude, but it's ruled by policy making, which is a completely different thing. So let everybody do their job. But that's not over. I was already a little bit shocked by this, this public statement from, which of course has a lot of weight. Not only comes from a public figure like Elon Musk, but it comes from a massive platform he owns. Let's just think about it. But then later on, here we have an escalation where basically Elon Musk accuses Donald Trump of being on the Epstein files. But not simply being on the Epstein files, because, it's not being on the list doesn't mean you're necessarily involved with anything he was doing, right? So let's take a step back. We have to understand this really important point. But he basically accuses him implicitly of participating to illegal and criminal behavior. Now, this is completely out of the scope of whatever disagreement they were having. This is completely out of the scope of his role, and it's completely reckless. Now, how this will affect the relationship between the two, the relationship between Elon Musk and MAGA, and the relationship between Elon Musk and the Republican Party. I think Elon Musk is about to learn a very important lesson, that no one, and I'm telling you, mark my words, no one in the MAGA movement will side with Elon Musk. He might have thought he had a rise in popularity, but he was a supporting star of Donald Trump. Donald Trump is the president. Elon Musk is an incredible visionary entrepreneur, which I appreciate immensely for his contribution to technology, but he's not the president of the United States. And he overstepped his role by making of gratitude an expectation, and an expectation entitlement. So let's think about it. This was wrong. It will definitely affect Elon Musk more than Donald Trump, and it will translate eventually in a very bad look for the entire MAGA movement, the Republican Party nationally and abroad.
What am I doing?
Hi.
Interesting take. What do you guys think about it? Tony Capone says Elon's butthurt. Evil is powerless, good are unafraid. Too late, and sinuses are killing me, says Arboyd. Yeah, Simona's great, man. She is awesome. I'm glad that Angie brought that to our attention. A lot of people, different takes. Let's see if I can find the Big chat. That's what I'm looking for. Big chat. And then we're going to bring back the X feed. Okay. Let's see if Elon's posted anything. Let's see. Elon Musk. Elon Musk. Okay, 4 hours ago, he posted something about Starlink. More Starlink. Amazing videos. Yeah, he's been pretty quiet. Let's see if there's anything from... Let's see. No, I want to go to... No, True Social. Let's go to True... No. Truth Social. Let's see. Trump posted this an hour ago. What is this?
I am thrilled to invite everyone to an unforgettable celebration, one like you've never seen before. On Saturday, June 14th, which is Flag Day, we are honoring the 250th anniversary of the greatest fighting force in history, the United States Army. We will celebrate a spectacular military parade in Washington, D.C., like no other. For 2.5 centuries, the men and women of America's Army have dominated our enemies and protected our freedom at home. This parade salutes our soldiers' remarkable strength and unbeatable spirit. You won't want to miss it. Just don't miss this one. It's going to be good. Thundering tanks and breathtaking flyovers will roar through our capital city as nearly 7,000 soldiers march in historic uniforms from every major war since the Revolution. Join us for this once-in-a-lifetime celebration. I think it's going to be better and bigger than any parade we've ever had in this country. Reserve your spot now at America250.org. America250.org. I hope to see you there. I'm going to be there. I'll be watching the entire event. It's going to be something very, very special. I don't think we've ever done one quite like this. We're going to be celebrating the Army and our military. Thank you very much.
Thank you, President Trump. Let's see, he posted this. Newsmax, meme Trump. Trump's meme coin is tracker of presidential success. Okay. And then there's this. 1 hour ago, again, 4 polls showing Trump with strong approval ratings. And then there was this post we brought up earlier. I don't mind Elon turning against me, but he should have done so months ago. So it looks like the feud has kind of died down, but I don't think it's going away. I think it's going to simmer for a little bit. We'll wait and see how this all pans out. What's this? Caroline Wren, Steve Bannon back in March of 23. Elon Musk is a total and complete phony. He's owned lock, stock, and barrel by the Chinese Communist Party, and he acts like it. Whoa. Let's see, DeSantis PAC defends Musk in Trump feud with Elon took the hits email. Ron DeSantis ramping up for a 2028 run? I could see that happening. For sure. Well, it's similar to a point that I brought up earlier. That, yes, Elon took a lot of hits, and I think he's a little pissed off about that. And his company, well, I mean, like I said, it was firebombing Teslas and the dealerships. So he did all that work, and, you know, and then this bill comes out, and they claim $2.5 trillion and the budget, whatever. So Republicans in Congress fully funding programs like USAID and abandoning their promises to make real long-lasting cuts to the woke left spending habits is a betrayal of the voters who put them there. Republicans in Congress fully funding programs like USAID? Okay, that's the claim being made. I launched Ron Pack to help prevent exactly this from happening. We need bold, energetic leaders who will not cave to the DC swamp, but stick to their morals and serve the American people. Can I count on you to chip in $25 now? Well, we can count on Janie. We're dropping $1.99. Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you on? Which side are you? Are you on Elon's side or are you on Trump's side? $2. Where's my $2? There you go, Janie. That one was for you. Dedicated to you. So you think that DeSantis is gearing up? Oh, boy. We ain't even out of this year yet. Wouldn't surprise me, though. Okay, Charlie Kirk asking the question, what is your take on the Elon Trump situation? Who's in the right? Comment below. 16,600 replies. Wow. Wait a minute. What's this below it? The slander continues. 6525. Real Donald Trump. I want my records back, Elon, all of them, even the ABBA ones I said you could keep. Okay. Okay, that's a joke. That's a joke. Okay, so let's see what people are saying on the Charlie Kirk replies here. Alex Stone, Roger Stone's nephew. I understand Elon's concern with spending, but he's taken it way too far. President Trump just gave him the key to the White House. I just said that. I'm on Trump's side. We voted for Trump. I trust Trump. And MJ Truth also Ultra says this. This is Donald Trump and the Epstein files. Let me tell you exactly how this is going to end. Oh, boy. PP tapes, Russian collusion, Russian bounties on troops, suckers and losers, very fine people, impeachment hoax 2, 1, 2, all the indictments. It's going to end the very same way. All of the above ended with Trump vindicated and again on top of the mountain. I learned some time ago that President Trump absolutely loves to set traps for the swamp, and here is just one of many examples. Follow along. This goes on and on and on. I'm not reading all that. I love you, MJ Truth Ultra, but I'm not reading all that. All right. Robert Barnes weighing in. Trump populism over libertarianism. Elena Mastrangelo. I'm grateful to Elon for buying X, his pro-free speech efforts, etc. But at the end of the day, he's never passed a litmus test. I have no problem with the guy, but he's out of his mind if he thinks if he thinks he's why Trump got elected, is wildly out of line for that Epstein mark. Yeah, I would say so. He crossed the line there. Okay, JTC53. Elon Musk started the whole thing. Elon Musk started taking jabs at President Trump. Trump responded very fairly, didn't say anything too bad about Elon, and then Elon wants to call Trump ungrateful. It was President Trump that hired Musk. It was President Trump that defended his companies and his cars from the radical left that was destroying them. Trump that went above and beyond for Elon Musk, and now he's just making baseless claims about Epstein files and that Trump should be impeached. It reveals a lot of character about Elon Musk, and it's sad to see he's not the hero we thought he was. Ouch. And Jacob Simmons. Dear President Trump and Mr. Musk, I hold both of you in high esteem for your significant contributions to our nation. Mr. Musk, your efforts in exposing government inefficiencies have been invaluable, and I hope this work continues to benefit the public. Your commitment to progress is commendable. President Trump, okay, my goodness, all these people writing freaking books. I don't got time for books. Yeah, this is right here, right? Then I'll say you're in the Epstein files. Yeah. Oh shit, the libs will eat that up. Yeah, a friend of mine on Facebook, I wonder if I could bring that up here. Let's see here. Let me see if I can find it. Let's see here. Facebook. And it is Shannon Kroner. Shannon Kroner. Okay, she's a good friend. Let's see what she had to say here. Okay, scrolling through Shannon's feed. Yeah, I think it went something like this. LOL. I just said you were in the Epstein list. Looks like the plan is working. Democrats killed a bill and released the Epstein files. Okay, here are her thoughts. Okay, this is what I thought was interesting. Here are my thoughts on the Elon-Trump feud. I believe Elon's a bit of a loose cannon, but I also think this is a fake feud to push for the exposure of the Epstein files and to shine a light on the big, beautiful bill. We have known for a long time that Trump has been on Epstein's plane. Epstein was once a member of Mar-a-Lago until Trump took away his membership for hitting on another member's daughter. Trump never went to the island. Personally, I think Elon is holding the government's feet to the fire. He's doing a great job at it. Now that he's no longer part of Doge and working with Trump, he can say whatever the F he wants, especially if it helps get stuff done. I hope Elon goes after Moderna next. Okay. To push for the exposure. So, end of line, she thinks that this is a fake feud to push for the exposure of the Epstein files. I mean, that's a take. You know, we'll see. Let's see what else here. Ooh, this one's rough too. Let's see. There it is. No, this one here. Musk incinerated. I'm gonna zoom that out, man. That's too close. How's that? Isn't that cool? See, I can control the camera from where I'm sitting. Right on. Okay. Musk incinerated most of his goodwill with the Epstein reference and the call for impeachment. I highly doubt Musk has incremental insight into the Epstein list beyond what's in the public domain. So he's saying Trump is implicated is truly a childish low blow. Here's another take on the current alleged spat between Elon and Trump. Wait, where is it? I want the big chat. There we go. I want you guys on the screen with me. Oh, and now we can zoom in because I'm so far away. So far away. What did you guys like this new camera situation? See, now I can get like really nice and close, personal with you, like right up in your business. This is my take on the current alleged spat between Elon and Trump. Elon and Trump are very good friends and always will be. I believe it's a strategy from both sides to help Elon distance himself from Trump, quell the left, and ease the attacks on Tesla. Man, there's a lot of people, some wild takes on all this. Burning his cars is wrong too. Yeah, he been hit hard. Haha, Gary's new toy. Yeah. Business. Andy's like, business. Get to business. Patriot Pete, release the Epstein files. And I know that I've got my post-production team is probably sitting there going, Gary, will you get the freaking show wrapped? Okay. Yeah. All right. I just gotta check in. You still there? Okay. I'm having too much fun with you guys tonight. I've got to get the rest of the show processed. You guys are awesome. $317.98 tonight. You can tell I'm feeling much better. After the last couple days, man. Seriously, like you guys don't even realize, like I've been like knocked out. Totally knocked out. Like I don't know what hit me, but it hit me hard, and something's going around. I'm feeling much better now, though. I've got an interview tomorrow that's going to hit. Ross Gibbons is coming back to the show. I'm sure it has something to, I think we're going to be talking about that undercover video that just dropped, talking about Pelosi and her stock trades, and David Hogg was talking about it because I sent him the video that came out, I think, about a week ago. You know, he's the guy that teaches people how to track congressional trades so you can mirror their trades and make the same kind of money that they're making. So I sent it to him. I'm like, dude, check this out. And so he's like, let's book an interview. So we booked an interview. We're going to do that tomorrow. We'll probably release it on Sunday, give you guys a nice Sunday interview to enjoy. And then what else is going on? I need to find a fill-in host for myself because, let's see where we're at with utilities. Let's see. Not next week, but the week after, I'm going to be in Orlando with the family. I promised the kids we'd take them to the new Universal Epic Universe that just opened. We took the family there earlier this year when the park was under construction, so it's open now, and my kids really want to go. So I promised them once school was out, we'd take them. So that's going to take place in like 2 weeks. And then in 3 weeks, if everything works out, I will be, I'll be in the Netherlands with Angie covering the NATO summit. So that's going to be freaking awesome. So for the week of the 16th, 17th, 18th, and 19th, and probably the 20th, I'll probably be wiped out after that vacation. You know, you need a vacation after vacation. I need to find someone to fill in and cover the show so we don't skip a beat. I know you guys need to hear the news, so I'm looking for someone who could fill my shoes. I reached out to somebody. I'm waiting to hear back. I got a couple people I could call. So we'll see what happens. But that's what the rest of the schedule looks like this month. And should be fun. Especially being able to spend some time with the kids. I'll tell you, man, the amount of work that we put in here covering the news, it is totally exhausting. But it's a labor of love. It's a responsibility I have to you and to this country to deliver the truth and to expose the lies, hold the corrupt accountable. That's my mission. And I want to be able to continue that regardless of if I'm on a roller coaster or if I'm, in the Netherlands. Juan Ruiz is already, he just put $2 in the jar just to say he can do the job. All right. Oh, not the frog. We're going to the jar. All right. Thank you, Juan Ruiz. Send me your sizzle reel. All right. But not that sizzle reel, okay? We don't want to see that one. All right. Where are we at here? Going back to this shot here. Okay. So, Patriots, what a show we have had tonight. Expose 5 massive stories that prove we're living through the most consequential moment in American history. This is week 19 of Trump's return, and the battles are more intense than ever. We started with the nuclear explosion between Trump and Elon Musk. What began as a budget disagreement erupted into accusations about Epstein, threats of America's space program, and calls for impeachment. When billionaires wage war like this, we all lose. But Elon showed his true colors. Maybe he never was about making America great again. Maybe just about making Elon greater. I don't know. Then we revealed Trump's big, beautiful bill, the conservative victory we've waited decades to see. Full border wall funding, massive deportations, tax cuts for workers and work requirements for welfare. Not a single Democrat vote needed. This is what winning looks like when Republicans finally grow spine and deliver for their voters. And the Autopen scandal keeps getting bigger. Trump calls it the worst in 100 years, and he's right. Radical left lunatics forged Biden's signature while he couldn't remember his own name. every law, every pardon, every appointment signed by that machine is potentially invalid, and the subpoenas are flying and criminal charges are coming. This was a silent coup, plain and simple. Then we just exposed how Democrats are literally trying to get ICE agents killed. Hakeem Jeffries threatening to dox them, violent mobs attacking officers, rescuing children, and attacks up 413%. When saving kids makes you the enemy, we've lost our moral compass as a nation. And finally, we unveiled the World War III trap being set for Trump. NATO and Lindsey Graham want nuclear war. And they want Trump to start it so they can blame him forever. Graham's taking Ukrainian bribes, allegedly, while 5,000 soldiers die weekly, but Trump won't take the bait. He's negotiating peace while they plot destruction. And to everyone who sent in super chats and Rumble rants tonight, you did make this show incredible. Wow, $319.98. We are just 2 pennies shy of $320. Your voices and your passion and your commitment to truth is what makes the Raw feed what it is. Because we're not just about reporting news. We are about building a movement of patriots who refuse to be silenced. So tell a friend about the show tonight. Text them the link. Right now, text it to them. They'll watch the repeat. Or simply wait for the segments to drop on the channel. If there was one specific segment you liked, that's why we do it. We cut it out so you can isolate that specific topic and you can share that with your friends. The mainstream media won't report these truths. So we have to be the media. Share it on X, share it on Truth Social, share it everywhere. Each person that you reach is another victory against the propaganda machine. And if you're fired up and you're ready to show your support, hit the merch shop, shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Every purchase helps us keep exposing the corruption, the lies, and the threats to our republic. And Michelle Glass dropping $2 as well. Well, thank you, Michelle, for that. We were almost out of the show. Oh, look at you guys. Look at you guys. You guys don't want me to go. Well, I'm still here. I'm not going anywhere. And then Michelle Glass dropping 2, and Tom B420 also dropping 2. Thank you for that. So we are now at $323.98. That is awesome. Beautiful numbers tonight, guys. Thank you. So this is Gary Franchi. I'm reminding you, we're not just witnesses to history. We're making it. The battle for America's soul is happening right now. You are the front lines. Stay strong, stay informed, and we'll see you next time on the Raw Feed.